All right, welcome, THL fans out there. Welcome to Sunday Showdown. I'm Sako, your stream op for this evening, and we have two fantastic casters that have quite a history of casting some fantastic matches. We have Dollar Bills and my Anadon. How
Good.
you guys doing?
Oh my gosh, this is for. I mean, this is the number. This is for into the playoffs, right? We're into the post.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and no pros here has it.
semi-finals.
Yeah, exciting times.
Very, very much so. Yeah, we have, like you said, no pros here versus wherever I may roam. Currently, no pros here, 8-1. So taking a big lead there. Agent PW and Carvalho taking those big wins in the 1 and the 2. But still in it here for wherever I may roam. But need to pretty much win these next 3 matches here.
And it is going to be tricky. Hero series, of course, is last hero standing format and closed deck lists. And so even though we know what the classes are, it's going to be Quaz piloting a hunter, a shaman, and a warrior, the priest being banned out, and Roadrunner piloting a druid, hunter, and priest with the warrior banned out. And right there, I just said something that surprised me as I heard myself say it out loud. A warrior ban instead of a priest ban with a priest brought in Last Hero Standing. And one of the things I feel like we get to talk about quite a bit in Last Hero Standing is the sweep potential of any particular deck. You know, the sometimes referred to as the high roll potential. You know, decks that can just beat anything, even in unfavored matchups, they just have a chance to roll to a victory. Leaving priest up seems brave. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, certainly very brave. There are options that can take it down, I think, and maybe, Quaz has the shaman. So, the shaman has a good potential there, either, elemental shaman or aggro shaman or a hybrid of the two, as we've seen sort of the aggro elemental shaman sort of kind of be one of the more favorite lists, I think, recently. So I could see that being the counter. It is last year standing, so having even just one counter can answer one of those decks potentially, but you do risk if you lose that counter, which obviously can happen. We've seen priests do ridiculous things, and it's sort of been the bane of a lot of people's competitive play recently. So if it doesn't get through, you put yourself in a very tough situation. But if you do get that win, it can be very crucial. So we'll see if that is the strategy here.
Yeah, and interesting to see. I mean, it's going to make the first. You were just talking about the potential for counter queuing. The first win is so important in Last Hero Standing because it allows you to trade back and forth and eventually win 3 games to 2. But also, like you were just talking about, if you're able to beat somebody's counter queue, I feel like Last Hero Standing has the most 3-2s and the most 3-0s. It seems like it just 3-1s. I feel like just as a format. Obviously not impossible, but it's
Yep.
you either beat an unfavorable that somebody queued into you and then you just walk away, or you get into that web of counter queues and
Back and
eventually,
forth.
yeah.
Well,
And so this first throw is going to be really interesting.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys are ready, the players are ready. So Roadrunner is going to be the first to spectate with Quaz being at the top of your screen, Roadrunner at the bottom of your screen. So I'll let the players start going.
Oh
Get
yeah.
'em in there. Any predictions for that first queue there for both players?
Well,
Knowing that what we've talked about so far.
yeah. I mean, if I'm Roadrunner, I kind of just. Gosh, that's interesting because I was initially just going to say if I'm Roadrunner and my priest didn't get banned, to throw that out there, but that might be what Quaz would expect, right? That's sort of the
Yeah,
that's
mind
the
games.
instincts. Yeah, so maybe a pair of hunters actually. I wouldn't be I would be interested in seeing a pair of hunters off the bat there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people just, like you said, default to, we're also talking about here. This is the 5 seed. Not that they're, bad players. Both are great players. But I think often you just go with comfort and just that major strategy. I could just see the priest coming down and the shaman to answer it. Just not trying to do too many mind games. Just saying, you know what? This is my best sweep potential. If I get this counter win, I'm super happy. If not, no big deal. I have answers to the shaman. I can then queue that, and we'll just kind of go back and forth and make it work that way. But let's see. I see some eyeballs here.
I'm interested to see what kind of warrior Quaz brought. Because if it's some kind of Oh, it's actually going to be the Hunter in from Roadrunner and the Shaman from Quaz. So kind of both. Kind
Yeah,
of both of
so
what we were talking about.
there you go. That's kind of the answer for Roadrunner to that prediction by Quaz. So we were talking a little bit about that, saying you could do that priest, and then Quaz would want to answer with the shaman. So Roadrunner going that extra step and saying he's going to answer with the shaman, thinking I'm going to go priest because it's my most dominant deck here. But if I bring the hunter, which is the good answer to that shaman a lot of the time, I'll even things out. And if I win this one, then they're really in trouble here.
Yeah, and what a start we see. Quaz's opening hand is a bunch of that elemental synergy stuff. Going to be able to get a live Arid Stormer onto
Wow.
Roadrunner's going to need some gas. And I'm looking right now. We do see the Wriggling Horror Mancrix in hand, but kind of also has one of the more expensive cards in the form of that Barak Kodobane, and actually nothing playable on one. So behind the 8 ball to start is Roadrunner.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see another Arid Stormer available to follow up with next turn. Could come out here with the Pack Runner coin, Adorable Infestation, get some damage in here, but no way to clear off this Stormer. So we'll be essentially leaving it up. Could have put that on the 2-1 if we wanted to value trade, maybe, or the 1-1, excuse me, to value trade into the 1-2, since you're not clearing this 2-3 here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe clearing off, value trading into the Kindling could have been good there, but this does mean that you can't just trade the Arid Stormer in twice to clear off the Pack Runner. You're gonna have to probably send. Looks like that's just this new one's gonna trade twice, and the other one will go face. Missed an attack there. Yeah, Quaz immediately realizing, oops, this has Wind Fury. It's not it didn't get the Crab Rider treatment. It doesn't lose that after the first turn.
And Roadrunner just once again does not have board initiative. We see the Doomhammer draw. I'm interested to see if this Cage Match Custodian draws a second Doomhammer or a Whack-A-Null Hammer. Whack-A-Null Hammer is the answer.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a hybrid build. I've seen most players either go one way or the other, either go the hammer or go I guess they're both hammers, the Whack-A-Null Hammer or the Doom Hammer, and not have both. But certainly I've seen a couple lists with both, and this is kind of that middle ground. You have the tempo potential with that Whack-A-Null, but also that finishing potential with the Doom Hammer. So I like this, and we'll see. Maybe that Doom Hammer will come in handy here very much. I think looking here for the explosive, not finding it.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's unfortunate. An explosive trap would have been extremely useful right here. Is going to end up taking that pack tactics, and finally, Roadrunner is going to be able to take this Arid Stormer off the board, which has been here since turn 2.
Yeah, and critically, I think taking that wow,
I stand corrected.
Wow. So just gonna say, you know what? I'll get it next turn, and actually risking this lurker here could come down. Looks like Quaz saying it's not worth it for this minion. Let's just get this going. Thinking maybe about freezing trap there. Gonna make some awkward trades now. We'll see where this goes though. If it does hit one of these, yeah. So does Ape get the trade in, and this Stormer continues to do damage, hitting that healing totem also very big, and the taunt totem. So this Stormer can just keep on chipping away.
Oh yeah, what is this called? The Stone Claw totem, the taunt totem, getting in the way, and then this Arid Stormer. Roadrunner passed up on the opportunity to take a value trade against it last turn, and now 16 life, Doomhammer in hand. Interestingly, Quaz choosing to hero power instead of Wailing Vapor to keep the Lily Pad Lurker alive, and I assume that's just a nod to, I don't plan on attacking minions much anymore this game.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, and it looks like we might be heading toward this Trampling Rhino. The big decision here is, do you want to? I think you have to clear this Stormer, so I would like to see the face go into this taunt, and then the trade. But it looks like we're just going to greed and keep the health on the minion there, and hope for a freezing trap here. Does hit the freezing trap? Yeah, that was scary. You're taking a lot of damage, and you certainly don't want to be putting this off too much. But working out in this case.
We
to
have
push that.
Yeah, we have an interesting mana situation for Quaz going into the next couple of turns. A Doom Hammer this turn overloads you for 2, which means you can Doom Hammer this turn and still be able to Inara next turn. The other direction is also available if you wanted to do Inara and then maybe play a Kindling Elemental, something like that. But these are the damage cards, right? Inara Storm,
Mm.
Crash, and Doomhammer is a bucket load of damage that Hunter's going to have a hard time clearing up. And crucially, we saw how powerful the Tundra Rhino is, or the Trampling Rhino is. If you don't have creatures on board, you
Ooh.
don't have to worry as much about the face damage.
Wow. So yeah, we're just going, like you said, we're just going for face here. It is going to be the Doomhammer. There was the option to go Inara and trade, and then you can swing again with 2 damage to the face, and it does clear off this Rhino. So this is sort of saying, Quaz, I'm going to beat you next turn. Has the Inara, like you said, that can be played to get to 8 damage. So only needs 2 damage to remain on the board for lethal. We see that it can probably be cleared up here. But it's a question of what Roadrunner does here. To answer, could use the quick shot if he's thinking about the Inara. But otherwise, we'll see if any of those trades are made. I'm actually trying to do the math here. Yeah, so when Inara is played next turn, you got 8 damage. So one of these minions is going to be cleared just because you push the damage anyway with the Rhino. So needs to find maybe some damage off the top because Inara is not going to do it. And actually no mana, like you said, because we're overloaded for 2. So this might come down to it.
And
A
yeah,
quick shot, yeah.
And even if Roadrunner is able to survive one more turn, it looks like it's going to be both Felmaws, which is pretty slow.
I really don't like that play from Roadrunner. I think the game's over before these get activated.
Yeah,
one
I
way
think
or
you're
the
right.
other. So I would have liked to see some of the other minions played. You could have hero powered in there just to push a little bit more damage. You have the Kodo Bane that's going to pull the Mancrick's wife. Or the angry Mancrick. So that's already 3 damage that just by playing the Kodo Bane, plus you're drawing some spells that deal damage. I would have liked to see a little bit more pressure on the board. Yeah, now we're in danger. Quaz did not find the damage to finish you off that turn, but now you don't have the damage either, and I think that's just going to be game. Yeah, so I think Roadrunner making a little bit of an error there, going for those Belma here. And Quaz taking advantage. I think I liked the Inara those 2 turns earlier when the Doomhammer came down. I think I liked the Inara that turn better. But coming out okay here. It's just not enough damage.
And
yeah, Demon Companion.
Yeah, obviously an incredible amount of value off this Kodo Bane, but all the value in the world is not going to help you if you are dead. and right
that
now,
will be it.
Yeah, Inara going to be able to add +2 attack to the Doomhammer, and that will be a 4 damage swing, and then another 4 damage swing, which is going to propel Quaz into a first game win for no pros here.
Yeah, there was still an out there for Roadrunner with that. That minion could have been the taunt instead for the Demon Companion, which would have actually kept Roadrunner alive one more turn. But yeah, I think it came down to that Felmaw play.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't think about that. I wonder if there's any lightning bolts. I wonder if Primal Dungeoneer.
I think there probably is, but there wasn't enough mana to Primal Dungeoneer and Inara and get the lightning bolt out. There was enough to play both, but not the lightning bolt. So still would have had to wait another turn there. We were at 6 health, right? So even a lightning bolt would have been 1 off if we just went for that.
True.
And then we wouldn't be able to play Inara. And if we played Inara, then we're 2 off. So yeah, no out there with that mana available. So with that out of the way, though, that is a big win there, I think, for Quaz, because now the Shaman can stay around and really just hope that the Shaman does cue the Priest eventually. This Priest is probably just going to be put off until that last one.
Yeah, which probably means that the Druid is coming out next, and I'm interested to see what flavor of Druid. The two kind of hip variants, I would say, would be there's the very slow ramp Clowns Druid, and then of course the extremely fast spells Tokens Druid. There are of course some mad scientists out there experimenting with super Cthulhu mega combo Celestial Alignment Druid, but I haven't seen that competitively in a little bit. But closed deck format, that's one of the things you can do is catch somebody by surprise.
Yeah, definitely. There's some players out there playing those miracle lists or whatever you want to call them. I think like Fino being a big proponent of that. So could see that, but maybe not the strategy here in the 5 seed into this matchup. My guess here would be seeing that Spell Druid or Token Druid, whatever you want to call it. They call it Spell Druid now, but it's what we used to call Token Druid.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that coming out. I think that's a pretty even matchup. It really does come down to if the Spell Druid is able to get this big board early, and if the Shaman is able to find those Wind Fury Elementals to clear off those early boards and help those out, the Arid Stormers. That's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
So
And,
there's.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. There's a little bit of a delay. Quaz's game crashed, so it should just be a simple restart.
Mm-hmm.
An excess of exuberance.
So Roadrunner's just double checking with a board member, but I'm pretty sure it's just basically the restart since nothing was played.
They've got the bans. As long as no one goes into their collection.
Yep.
During this, should be a-okay. Hanging out in main menu.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad it was between games and not during the game, because that's so tricky when it's like, oh no, disconnected, game crashed, oh geez.
It's been pretty good recently. I had an issue a couple weeks ago where it kept disconnecting, but it would always pause the game when that happened, and the client's not great. Let's be realistic here. I've had you sometimes you have to relog if you've been like AFK for a bit, and then you start queuing again or whatever. Sometimes the connection doesn't really refix itself. I don't know. It's an indie game, so
It's a work in progress.
yeah, still in beta.
Yeah.
Oh, Battlegrounds is actually.
Yeah. Did you guys have a Gmail account? Do you guys remember how long Gmail was in beta? I mean,
oh yeah,
for forever Gmail was in beta, and apparently it was a strategy, and it would still be in beta to this day if some entity stepped in and forced it out of beta. Because as long as it's a beta, no one can complain about anything. Because you've opted
we're still
into a
working
beta.
out the kinks. It's fine.
That's right. And so it's
This
after.
is just it's beta. This is part of the process. Is you telling us when you see some errors, and we fix them. That's the whole point. It's not a fully released product yet, no matter how many millions of people are using it.
Yeah, until we have everything ironed out, until it's exactly where we want it, we're not gonna do the full release. And so after, I want to say 8 years or something, some sort of something forced it out beta, so they couldn't.
Yeah, just a marketing move to okay. Now we can officially move into the totally released phase, and I'm feeling good about it because we're coming out with Microsoft 2 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Half-Life 3 is coming out, so we're okay now finally.
Yeah, Portal, man, when I thought Portal Bridge Constructor was a joke when I saw it announced. It's like, come on. There's going to be a Portal 3 though, right?
Memeing us. Yeah.
It's like, no, it really is. What are we talking about? Oh, Token Druid. Right.
Token Druid.
So I'm interested to see how the Shaman, because a lot of the Shaman removal, with the exception of those 2 Lily Pad Lurkers, is damage, right? It's Arid Stormers rushing in, or it's Hammer Swings hitting boards, or it's the saddest situation, bolts hitting minions and stuff like that for 3 damage. And
yeah, there is one big exception that it could be a huge factor in this matchup is that dunk tank. If you're able to, we didn't see it in that last match, but it usually is found in these lists. And if you're able to corrupt that, you can remove any of those early Druid boards, the 2/2s, the 1/1s. So Druid's plan usually in that matchup is just get over that 2 health window if you're scared of a corrupted dunk tank. Otherwise, just go wide. And then start buffing, and it's usually tough for the Shaman to come back. It can happen, but if that Druid gets going, I think it's in their favor. And
yeah, and so many of the buffs make it so much more. The Soul of the Forest giving you death rattles. All of a sudden, now it takes 2 corrupted dunk tanks to clear the board.
Oh yeah,
and 8 mana. It takes 8 mana and 2 corrupted dunk tanks.
Yeah, even just a Pride's Fury, that +3 health is just game ending. for the shaman, unless they find enough damage, because it oftentimes does come out. The shaman comes out first, starts putting damage in. The druid tries to build a big board. If it's able to stick that big board, and the shaman's not able to kill you in the next turn or two, then the druid wins. And if the shaman is able to, the shaman wins. And that's pretty much the matchup in a nutshell.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see when there's two decks that tend to be that have like big power spikes. Because one of the most fundamental questions you can ask yourself in a card game is who is the beat down, and obviously it can change over the course of a game, and sometimes it's extremely clear, and sometimes, like you're saying, like in this druid versus shaman, sometimes it can be that can be one of the tricky parts. Is like, am I controlling this druid, or do I have to set myself up to win this race? And as the druid, can I just set myself? Whereas I feel like with the druid, it might be a little bit more straightforward. It's like I have a wide board, and now I can solar eclipse, and oh my gosh, it's the shaman versus the
Wow.
priest. So queuing up the priest, Roadrunner is.
So Roadrunner's saying, you know what? I'm not going to drag this out. I'm going to play the priest right now. Play my most unfavorable remaining matchup here into the shaman, even though my warrior and my druid, I guess the warrior's gone, but the druid remaining should be favored, or at least even or favored. But you know what? I'm not going to even worry about that. This is my best deck. I want to get it through. We can beat this shaman here, I believe. Let's do it, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see if that's possible here. Decent start for Quaz, has both of those elementals into a Cage Match Custodian. I'd be surprised not to see the Kindling into the Wailing. Some people kind of greed and want to get that attack buff, but I think just 2 minions into a Priest on turn 1, when you can start just ramping up into... Oh, we're going to use the coin, actually.
Oh,
I don't like this very much. You're going to curve into the Cage Match and then just blow to mana next turn, because you're discounting...
I wonder if this is full aggro. We're just planning on shipping this Serpent
Shrine. Not exactly punished, because we can play both of these now. And then the next elemental will be discounted. So does get a little bit lucky there, pulling the second Kindling. So Cage Match can come down into the Kindling.
Yeah, that opening to me says that Quaz was interested in sending this Serpent Shrine to the face on turn 3, just as a tempo, basically 3 mana, deal some damage, and summon something that costs 3. Just really wants to lean into the speed as much as possible. Roadrunner has that Xyrella already, but not nearly enough mana to actually do the healing required to also set off a large Xyrella. This is 8 damage already. Roadrunner's going to have to deal with a Hysteria offered off the Scorpid. Will help in the future.
Yeah, looks to be the plan here. And like you said, that is the Serpent Shrine coming down. So just going extra wide, saying, you know what? Priest doesn't really have great answers for this before turn 5. Even on turn 5, it's only doing 2 AoE if you have that. So Hysteria can clear off like 3 minions here on average. But I still have, a decent board here to continue going.
Yeah, and so now it's just going to be Cage Match Custodian. I would assume. Okay, actually.
So there's 2 Doomhammers in here, as well as that Whack-A-Null.
Yeah, so this is 2 hammers. I guess it really just makes sure that your Primal Dungeoneer will grab a Cage Match, and your Cage Match Custodian will grab something. It's just there are 3 hits instead of only the 2. But I'm interested to see what's been cut to make room for 3 hammers. And this is the pressure ramped up extremely quickly. Roadrunner already down to 14, but we see Blade Master Samuro in hand. All this palm reading has to do is hit an Apotheosis.
Ooh, not quite. Holy Nova does deal with this board, but not enough mana. Going to be 1 mana short to play it. Flash Heal, obviously a nice one. Taking all this damage and extra 5 health can be a game winner here. But yeah, a little bit of a struggle. Hysteria had a chance to full clear, would have had to hit, things in the right order, but it also had a chance to only clear 2, so I could see holding that back. But we're kind of in danger here. And now, with this Doomhammer, and we see the Rockbiter in hand, this is looking tough.
There's so much damage in hand for Quaz. Rockbiter's an extra 6, Serpent Shrine an extra 3, Bolt an extra 3. And all of that only costs 5 mana.
I think that's game, yeah, because this is going to be a Hero Power Zyrella turn, which clears off the board, but we're at 14. This Rockbiter puts us at 10. Oh, we're 1 off with the Lightning Bolt, aren't we? Yeah, so we're 1 off with the Lightning Bolt. We don't have quite enough mana to throw in the Serpent Shrine, but probably just going to see it anyway. Maybe, I don't think even Hero Power to give them something to attack with Samuro if they do find, like, you know, Samuro Apotheosis, or, I mean, I guess they can always Apotheosis Zyrella, which essentially does the same.
Yeah, that would heal Roadrunner to for 6, and then the additional Hero Power would put Roadrunner to 12, but man, just can't find a single Kyle. Let's see, Initiation, Smite, and Hysteria. Those are not what Roadrunner needs right now.
They're not going to do it. Could go for the Smite onto the Sethic, like, or Sethic Smite. I don't know what. Maybe you look for some more heal. So you Sethic
like
Smite your 4/4 here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You can start comboing.
Yeah,
it is a 0 mana
Smite, and then, but now you can't play any heals really, since we healed first. I would have liked to see the Sethic Smite, and maybe you find another Flash heal to heal you 5. But yeah, that's
for
gonna
choice.
be it. Yeah, plenty of options. Gonna show the Inara again, saying, you know what, Inara is gonna finish you off 2 times in a row, and there goes the Priest. Only that Druid remaining.
And you were talking at the beginning of that game how it's like there was a certain amount of faith there, right? Roadrunner believed that there was some opportunity for that Priest to beat Shaman, and we've seen Priest successfully beat everything at this point, right? Priest has a chance against everything, but that can show you how difficult that matchup can be if you don't find some key cards and Shaman gets off to a start like that. And let's talk, I mean, that initial Vapor Elemental, is that the 1/3 that grows? Something like
the Wailing. Is that Wailing?
It's the 1 mana that ended up doing so much damage over the course of the game. So much damage.
It looks like it is going to be Primordial, yeah.
Okay, well, we might see a similar, second verse, same as the first situation, where if Quaz is able to find some damage and get going, Roadrunner may be dead before they can get started. And this is a heavy hand. We do see the growth and the overgrowth, though. The growth, both wild and over, waiting in hand for Roadrunner.
Growth's both wild and over, yes.
But the rest of the hand is expensive.
Yeah, this actually, I mean, it's a little bit less surprising that it's not Spell Druid to hold off, but I think this also has a decent matchup here. As long as you find your ramp and your big cards, and we see, I mean, we have turn 8 Guardian Animals, turn 8 Primordial, and Shaman really doesn't have good answers. It has Lilypad Lurker, and that's about it to answer one thing. But that's not quite enough. So yeah, I think we're just gonna, I mean, you could even Lunar Eclipse here to clear off the 2/2, or
interesting. Dropping 3 damage onto the Arid Storm. That's not what I expected to see. In that instance.
Yeah. Next turn you got the Guardian Animals, and I'm pretty sure you have several that deal 5, or at least the 5/4 deals 5. You've also got the 4 AoE potential. I mean, there's quite a few beasts that can deal with the Arid Stormer pretty reasonably. That does hit the nice 50/50 though to deal an extra 2 damage.
Gosh, Quaz looked like mousing over the possibility of coining Rockbiter weapon to just really get this Arid Stormer damage in before you were talking about it 15 seconds ago. Here it is, Guardian Animals. Let's see.
Here we go. Yeah, there's that Twilight Runner. You know, that could have traded in. Obviously, this Moonfang can trade in, take 1 damage, and then, yeah. So I'm a little surprised by the damage onto the Stormer there. We would have had plenty of ways to deal with it there. But we did find a critical card here in the Cenarian Ward. Primordial Protector, a little bit weaker since we've found both survivals already. But still can find an 8-drop, so...
Yeah, I assume we'll. I mean, unless Roadrunner keeps drawing like this, is going to have all 4 of the big money spells, all 6 of the big money spells in hand already. I mean, Roadrunner down to 15, but you just mentioned the Cenarian Ward represents just so much. Oh my gosh, the second Guardian Animal's also in hand. 15's pretty low, but Quaz is not nearly as set up for damage as in the priest game.
Yes, yeah, oh, and not bad does mean you have to still double trade awkwardly, but you take less damage. I mean, should have just went, I don't know. I guess it's fine. Yeah, you take less damage on the one Lake Thresher.
Oh yeah, attacking in that order, and so now we have a lot of gold glowy cards in hand for Quaz, but let's see,
Dunk Tank is good. Needs to find. I mean, that's potentially 6 damage. Oh no, it's only two to enemy minions. So that's a 4 damage versus 3. So we're gonna go with the lightning bolt, saying, you know what, I can't really deal with your board anymore. I'm gonna ignore it and just try to kill you next turn. But as we can see, we have the survival of the fittest. So that's 14 on board plus another 4, 8, 12. That's just lethal.
Yeah, this is actually just going to be enough damage. That's
yeah, so choosing not to remove the board does mean Roadrunner gets a big win here, and Primordial Druid gonna start to try to get this reverse sweep. Next, I think on the chopping block for it will have to be that Face Hunter, and we'll see if it's able to curve out like that and get the big, plays before it dies.
What a difference having the growths versus not having the growths makes in that. I mean, it's the druid tale as old as time. It's man, having innervates and wild growths, originally just vates and growths, right, was the chant, but now of course we have overgrowth as well, and just being able to get out that guardian animals, because Roadrunner was already down to 15, even though they only skipped like 2 turns ramping. Just already down to 15 life. Not much left.
I must protect
and just happened, or was able to go ahead and play out the guardian animals on time. Because if there's no guardian animals in that hand, and Roadrunner has to like play out just a primordial protector to draw something, that game could end different. Oh, a resizing pouch in the hunter. Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen that a little bit. Haven't seen Serpent Bloom though, so that's maybe a nod at saying, like, I just wanted some sort of answer for a big taunt minion. Hunter doesn't have the best answer. I mean, Hunter's Mark is available, but this does let you kind of cycle. 0 cost spells are good. I haven't seen this myself, but I could see it.
Yeah, this is a lot of spells. This is
yeah, this is an interesting list. Overwhelm, Tame Beast. This is like a very low curve one, and the Kolkar pack runner, I feel like maybe a big part of that to just go wide on the board does get removed by that critical lunar eclipse, and then that might be a game-changing play right there. Last turn from Roadrunner.
Because we saw a teacher's pet offered in the tracking there. I wonder if there's like Jewels of N'Zoth in here. Is this a Death Rattle Jewel of N'Zoth hunter?
I really am not sure. There's a teacher's pet, yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen this hunter list.
Let me. I wonder if Quaz is on the. Roadrunner's going to go ahead and innervate out a Primordial Protector. This will draw Survival of the Fittest, and of course give him a 10 cost. Oh, it's Deathwing and a 0 mana Strongman.
Oh
so
my!
This is a lot.
Well, we have that Serpent Bloom, but no beast at the moment that we can. I guess Zixor can only really deal with the Strongman and not the Deathwing.
Yeah, this is interestingly, Druid has gotten off to a blistering start in spite of being a big survival of the fittest guardian animals druid. And
yeah, it's like a beast hunter that we're seeing on the other side. I might have to ask Quaz for this list. I'm really curious what's in this. I mean, we got like Zixor, Teacher's Pet. We got the Tame Beast, Overwhelm to capitalize on all those beasts.
Hey, yeah, I have a lot of questions about the top end. I mean, this almost looks like you could play guardian animals. But there's no ramp available, so you probably wouldn't do that. Yeah, Jewel of N'Zoth maybe is I'm going to stick with that as a potential possibility. Is going to be able to clear out both the Strongman and the Deathwing the Destroyer, but a pretty big committal of resources, and Roadrunner is not done yet.
Yeah, luckily, just this 6/6 remains, and both players kind of top deck mode. We can see Roadrunner's hand not too, scary. Obviously, the survival can come down next turn and make things a little bit scarier, but that's a little bit slow. So we'll see if Quaz is able to get back on the board here. Warsong Wrangler. I mean, we know there's a lot of beasts. There's a Zixor,
It's
so
only Zixor Prime and Teacher's Pet. Those are the only beasts in this list.
yeah.
Is Teacher's Pet and then Zixor regular or Zixor Prime.
Mhm.
Wow, that's rad. I want to see a Jewel of N'Zoth. I don't know if it's
Carrion
actually in there.
studies. Whoa. Yeah. So discover Death Rattle Alar. Maybe. Oh,
That was a quick educated Elec pick.
we are going for the long game here. It looks like. I don't know that you win the long game into Druid, but power to you if it does work. We'll see.
Meanwhile, Roadrunner picks up a Guess the Weight. You mentioned Survival of the Fittest. With no strongman in hand to corrupt with the playing of the survival, and also no clowns available to corrupt with the playing, it looks like Roadrunner is going to defer for one turn, picks up a guardian animal.
Oh,
so
and a strong man. So a pretty good result there. Can guardian animals into the strong man right away. We see the Zixor on the other side. Should be able to answer most of this. Looks like we're going to go for the draw here.
Oh yeah,
Finds
Roadrunner
the
just gassing
other
up
one.
now.
Oh yeah. So still one
Another
turn away
copy
from
of-
the Zixor. I had forgotten. I mean, I see the Druid at 10, but we have hit the double wild growth and overgrowth already. So
Yeah, and an innervate and a coin. The Roadrunner's been
this is
playing
just
8
lethal,
mana.
right? With survival. It should
This
be.
is this is
You
21
can even
plus.
innervate this broom to deal 5 to the broom and take everything else space, even if it hits a taunt. Does not hit a taunt, but even if it did, have the broom to get through, and that is game 2. This Primordial Druid starting to make the sweep, and now it's just the Warrior remaining for Quaz. I thought this was all but over, but Roadrunner just staying in here and trying to just get that big Primordial Druid sweep. That is not what I expected to say today.
Oh, and I look ridiculous because I was saying it's going to be back and forth, or it's going to be someone's going to beat an unfavorable, and it's going to be a 3-0 in one direction or the other. It's actually been a 2-0 sweep and a 2-0 sweep, and now it's a best of one. We're at a ladder game here right
Here
now.
we go. Best of luck to both. We've got the Warrior versus the Primordial Druid. Generally, the Rush Warrior looks like that will probably be the case. Although, actually, with
Blade
the
Storm
Blade Storm, this might just be Control Warrior, which...
and Silas Darkmoon. Yeah, okay.
And Rancor. Yeah, this is Control, which would have been great in
And
the
there's a
Stealth
Cthulhu.
Druid,
Yeah.
but a little bit worse into this list. I think the Primordial just out damages and has just too many big boards with the Carnival Clowns, the Protectors, the
Potential double Cenarian wards.
Cenarian Wards, Guardian Animals, Primordial Protectors, Carnival Clowns. I mean, there's just way too many threats for this this Warrior usually to keep up.
And one thing we haven't seen yet out of Roadrunner, and I assume there's a Yasharaj in there somewhere, but we haven't actually seen it drawn. Granted, they were some pretty quick games where Roadrunner got to 10 mana way ahead of schedule and just started playing bombs after bombs after bombs. But yeah, to your point, 4 rounds of clowns is going to sponge up a lot of removal. And you only get 2 Blade Storms unless you can discover more. We'll see if there's, a South Sea Scoundrel available.
Okay, so could find your own survival here. Although it does put the survival in their hand, which is not 100% what you want to do. Not that you really want to give them a broom either, but interesting. Yeah, I mean, you don't have that many minions to get big value off of the
off that survival option.
Survival, yeah.
So it is just going to be a Moonfang coin broom. And it looks like the other draw was also a broom. So Roadrunner, both brooms in hand, dual wielding brooms.
Yeah, I mean, looking for the reverse sweep, so it makes sense.
Holding the broom reverse grip.
Yeah. Gotta have the brooms for the sweep.
I guess it's going to be a combination of, interesting, not going to rush in this armor vendor. Going to instead commit the Rancor this turn to clear off Moonfang and the other broom. Rancor's not going to clear boards of clowns, so might as well get some value out of it while you can.
Yeah, let's see here if Roadrunner grades with this Twilight Runner. We do have the answer in the Blade Storm in hand. Um, could play around it with the broom, but that's kind of awkward. And there may be ways to remove the broom and play the Blade Storm. So yeah, it looks like it might just be this Twilight Runner, and we're, I imagine, gonna see the Blade Storm, and that could be a big swing turn for Quaz. I think the power also of this druid is finding the draw in this Twilight Runner. Had the broomstick to go along with it if a minion came down eventually. So I don't know if I love this play, knowing that it's Control Warrior. Hold up.
Yeah, that a commitment of the armor vendor means okay. So actually, not going
So
to spend the blade storm. So
I
I guess
guess
holding
saving
it.
them, yeah, saving them for the clowns. I don't mind that either, although just gives them options. And ideally, by clown time, you found some other options as well to deal with their clowns. But I could see holding on to it as well.
Yeah, the one argument I was going to make in favor of the play you were talking about of playing the blade storm is trying to rack up the armor necessary to actually, maybe sneak a win if we get into the later stages of the game, because this druid's not going to let you stack up armor for long, and these are kind of the turns that you have before huge boards come out, and then once it's a board full of 8/8s, it's going to be more and more difficult. But
Yeah, I
these,
just think giving them more options, leaving this Twilight Runner alive, is usually worse than
yeah,
removing it
for
if you
sure.
can.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Uh, so Shield Slam going to go ahead and be committed to remove the Twilight Runner, and now the armor vendors potentially coming down. What is the advantage of holding on to this armor vendor? I guess there's another Shield Slam somewhere, and maybe it's not going to be used to combo. Maybe it's just going to be used to remove something that comes off Cenarian Ward or something like that.
Ooh.
But okay, it's time.
Yeah,
Roadrunner's
it
ready to
is
hit the gas. Yeah.
definitely time. Hits the survival finally. Double strongman available as well as that the clowns. So we'll see if Roadrunner does commit both, and I would be surprised not to see both. And actually, Broom coming down as well does mean that a Blade Storm will not really clear this off very well.
Yeah, and this Outrider's Axe is not going to be particularly usable. Gosh, the playing of that broom, because a Blaze Storm is going to be pretty clean, just a 10 damage tilt-a-whirl there. But even if there is a brawl, which we don't know for sure, I would assume Quaz is playing at least one brawl, and of course Venomous Scorpion can discover brawl, but this is now going to pull out a Coerce as well. Still Blade Storm, though. Blade Storm's got to beat the move.
Yeah, I think the play there for Roadrunner, I didn't see this right away either, but
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised we didn't see the Blade Storm come out there. But I think the play to play around Blade Storm, we obviously see that it wasn't played in the end, but to play around Blade Storm for Roadrunner would have been to actually use one of the 10/10s to trade in rather than the 5/4, because then the course into a Blade Storm cannot clear.
True. Very true. This is
But
20 damage headed upstairs.
yeah,
And,
and it looks like hovering the Carnival Clown. So we're gonna Lunar.
oh, I guess the Twilight Runner's coming out.
Sure. Sure, no need to commit the clowns here.
And Quaz needs I guess a combination of Blaze Storm and Heart of Cthulhu. Lord Barov, of course, Blaze Storm also an option. Lord Barov, Heart of Cthulhu also an option. A couple of different options available, but getting some value off this Heart of Cthulhu seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It is a little awkward that you have to use both of those here, because now this Carnival Clowns can come down. But just one top deck away from being able to answer it as well. Just need any AoE or rush or something. Some way to clear off the Barov after you play it.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if Roadrunner, upon seeing the committal of the Blade Storm, is now going to windmill some clowns. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many beasts are left for this Guardian Animals as well, just for, if this does get cleared. So it does look like we didn't find the best answer. Maybe, can you find Broom off of Athletic Studies? I think you can, right? It's a rush
Yeah,
minion that gives
it
rush.
is.
So
Yeah.
would like to find a Broom. Runthek, not it. And I
Okara or Razor
think
Jaw.
that's
Yeah.
just it. I don't, you have the Barov, so you can remove two of these, but that's just not going to be enough. Silas to steal one isn't really enough either. Yeah, I
The
think that's
ens-
it.
yeah, the enslaved Fell Lord doesn't. It has to attack for the cleave to go off.
Yeah, I think the play last turn where we used both of our big AoEs there was a mistake. I think we needed to use the Barov in combination with one of them rather than what we saw. We saw the Heart of Cthulhu and the Bladestorm. I would have liked to see the Lord Barov into the Heart of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
That clears off the board, and you still have the Bladestorm for the clowns, which I imagine that's what Quaz was holding on to it for so long. So switching from that plan and going into using both of them there ended up costing. If we had used Barov with either of them, well, I guess with Heart of Cthulhu, we could have been able to answer this. And now that's just it. And big win there for Roadrunner to keep wherever I may roam, still in this series. 3-2 win for Roadrunner over Quaz means that now NoPro's here 10-5. So still ahead by 5. Going to still need 2 wins from Donde and Anfal, I believe. Yeah, because even if a sweep would not secure it for one of them.
but
yeah,
yeah,
wow.
but turned it into a and that was a roller coaster. And the Clowns Druid is one of those decks that I think really can exemplify some of that sweep potential. Because if it hits its growths into its power plays, Control Warrior. I don't know if there are any brawls in that list for Quaz, but if there were, couldn't find them. Like you said, perhaps an overcommittal of resources in the form of that. Oh, but enough of me, John. Sounds like Roadrunner has joined. Roadrunner, congratulations on that reverse sweep to begin the comeback of wherever I may roam.
The Primordial Druid taking the reverse sweep there. Was that something you expected when you came up with this
Honestly,
lineup?
I'm sorry. Honestly, I really did not. I have been scrimming with one of my friends at Wash U who was on the Wash Tappers, or now known as the Shed Ape, and his name be praised. And basically, I was actually prepping for more of like I wasn't even thinking my warrior would be banned. I was actually preparing for my priest to be banned. So that was a really interesting change to that. And I think that I just got really bad draws my first 2 games. Hunter, like I may have done a couple of things badly, but I think that the priest I just got really bad draws.
And
So
Quaz got off to a blistering start in that Priest Shaman game. I mean, just
oh my gosh.
heat, nothing but fireballs from turn 1 onward.
Yeah, I was
No
curious
joke.
about the queuing the priest though there second, knowing the shaman was coming out. I think that's probably really the reason Quaz brought the shaman and left the priest up is to beat the priest with the shaman. So I was a little surprised that you queued that in, having that primordial druid available. I think primordial druid has a better time into the shaman, as we did end up seeing. But yeah, tell me a little bit about your sort of queue order, what you were thinking, because you did play, I think, the mind games really well early. You got the hunter into the shaman, I think, expecting the shaman first, since the priest was left up, and that's usually, I think, hunter favored slightly, but just didn't go your way. Probably a couple
Yeah.
misplays on both sides, but then going into the
Yeah.
priest. Second, that surprised me a little bit. Can you tell me, were you just saying I need to get the priest has got to be played, and I think I can beat the shaman, or were you just kind of saying priest is the best deck in the game? I'm just gonna bring it
Yeah.
and try to beat the shaman.
Honestly, I was practicing Clown Druid into Shaman a lot,
Hmm.
and I was actually having a hard time with it, believe it or not. So
Oh,
I
yeah. No,
sorry,
absolutely.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just yeah, you're good. I was yeah, I was actually having a lot of trouble when I was scrimming just
Mhm.
to win with the Clown Druid when the Shaman just had the nuts with the 1-3 and the 1-2 in the very beginning, and obviously Quaz had those for most of his games, and yeah, that was pretty scary the second game especially. And so I thought also just with Priest just being such an OP deck, I was like, I'm just gonna go with Priest. So that was my motivation there.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally makes sense. And definitely some surprising stuff. Did you expect that hunter from Quaz? That was surprising to me. I did not really know what to call it, like a beast hunter or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that was interesting. I really didn't expect that. I mean, I guess it makes a little sense. I think Quaz might be more of a control player. I'm not entirely sure, but I know he definitely brought the control warrior, and I wasn't actually expecting that either.
right.
So, like when the Cthulhu came out, I was like, oh, wait, this
Yeah.
isn't Rush Warrior.
And he definitely died
Yeah,
with a Silas
spoilers.
Darkmoon in his hand.
Didn't even
So-
think of that for
Yeah.
closed deck list. That's a little bit of a spoiler there. If going into that warrior, you know immediately. Oh, Cthulhu, this is not Rush. I don't think I'm dealing with Rush in this game anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, and the hunter was
So,
interesting. He was only playing. I'm really curious to see what the top end of that hunter was because he was
Yeah.
only playing Teacher's Pet and Zixor for that Wrangler to hit.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
You don't get the double buff either with the Zixor, which is kind of a little sad.
I
Uh,
know. Yeah.
yeah, interesting. Anyway, congratulations, big win there for your team. Putting you
Thank you
guys, I
so
think I said
much.
it was 10-5 now, so still behind. But it's up to your teammates now. Anfal and Donde, two great players. Can maybe take this home for you. But playing against your Mumkid and I believe Chewbacca, so good players on the other side
Yeah.
too. We're gonna see those I think coming up very shortly. I think first coming up here we have Anfal versus Chewbacca. I hope you stick around in the stream and watch your teammates duke it out and maybe try to take this win over No Pros here, or maybe it goes No Pros here's way, and you know uh, two good teams, one team has to come out in the end.
Yeah. I just also want to say just a quick GG's to Quaz. You definitely didn't make it easy for me, man. So GG's.
Yeah, super fun
GG's
series to watch.
indeed.
And thank you for playing on stream. I know that can add
Yeah.
tension to an already tense situation. This is the post, this is playoffs time, and so I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all. Happy to help and yeah, support THL and yeah, it's been really great. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck to your teammates, and maybe we'll see you here next week if you guys are able to take it.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you all later.
Take care.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. So there you have it, Roadrunner. Yeah, was it just Priest is really good.
Yeah,
And,
no
that's,
argument there.
Yep, that's not. I'm actually interested. I
I think
think
that was
Priest.
our thought too. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, sure, yeah, why
yeah.
not?
I think Priest has been banned 9 times already. I'm not sure if I'm maybe more than that now, 9 or 10 times. Definitely the expected ban. I think the one that. So up next, as you mentioned, it's going to be Chewbacca for No Pros here, up against Anfal wherever I may roam. And so we see a little bit of a. It's actually going to be a mirror, at least in terms of classes, unless. Okay, this is actually just some ignorance on my part. Is Chewbacca obligated to bring the same classes that Disco
Yes,
declared? Okay, or
yes,
else I'm
yes,
about to
yeah.
embarrass myself. So it's actually going to be druids, hunters, priests, and warriors all the way down. We don't yet have the bands in there, of course. I think they're scheduled for 9 o'clock, so they're
Because Chewbacca is just queuing up his computer and falls pretty much ready to go. So it's just a matter of them getting the bands in, doing the whole band Joe thing. So
The
yeah.
banjo thing.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? What you gonna ban? Banjo.
bands
Bands
are
to
slowly
go.
coming in. So
Oh,
Yeah, no
they're
worries.
slowly coming. I like that. Yeah, that's It sounds like we've got like a whole system where like we've got everybody's
yeah,
band slowly coming in. They're filtering it. It's not like two people that just have to tell
yeah.
us. It's like
I have a
they're filtering it.
B7 B7.
B7.
Bingo! Bingo! Oh man.
But with druids, hunters, priests, and warriors, and it's different. You know, in Conquest, for example, you can do something like target priest or something like that. You can try to build an entire strategy around either cornering a deck, and so the series doesn't start until they start playing that deck. If you go full on, or you can try to just tech against a deck to try to give so. But priest is usually the talking point. With Last Hero Standing, you can't do that. You can't pick a deck and bully it because once you beat it, it's out. So you have to give yourself counter queue options and stuff like that. Because originally I looked at this and I was like, okay, if you had an anti-priest teched warrior, maybe there's a world where you consider leaving up priest. But
Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at these
Shaman,
and I see two. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty unlikely. Shaman or I think Demon Hunter, but even Demon Hunter, I think it struggles a little bit these days. The Death Rattle list has, I think, a slightly favorable matchup in the priest, but
we got bans in now, so priest bans.
Priest
I was
bans
gonna
all
say
around.
double priest ban
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Players are
Shamans
ready
on
to
either
go too.
side,
So. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Or Demon Hunters. So yeah, I think we will have that Warrior, Hunter, and Druid mirror here. The average decks I would say are Rush, Warrior, Spell, Druid, and Face Hunter, but we already saw in that 5-seed match a lot of variety. We'll see if these players have different flavors they enjoy and what they kind of think will work out in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see, the druids in particular, just to see, because it seems like there's either Rush or Control Warrior for Hunter. Until about 15 seconds ago, I would have said there's only Face Hunter with various tech cards swapped in and out. Apparently, there might be some kind of Death Rattle thing happening as well. But then Druid, there's those three, really two, but then there's also the possibility of that Miracle Druid as well. So there's three very different play styles available to you as a Druid, and I think that's one of the classes where players can really express themselves, and like you were saying, play the game that they want to play, and they can flex Druid into it.
So the players are jumping in, as you mentioned, players. We have Shubaku is going to be at the bottom of the screen, our first to spectate for our casters, and Anfall is going to be at the top. So good luck to both players.
Yeah. I already see the eyeballs. Let's go.
All right, so it looks like it is going to be Chewbacca on the Hunter for no pros here, up against Anfall's Warrior for wherever I may roam. And this looks like, interesting, a Scrap Golem in the hand for Anfall and a Corsair Cache. Okay.
Okay, looks like maybe a different flavor of control here. If I had to guess, I would say Face Hunter for Chewbacca. Although we've seen Mankrik tracking, and I don't know if we saw Scavenger Ingenuity, but we saw that in the other list. There's the Warsong Wrangler, so no answer yet. But resizing pouch in the list, that's also sort of a 30th, 29th card.
Yeah, the quick shot would. Well, I guess you could probably play quick shot in that Death Rattle version as well. So, Kresh, Lord of Turtling. So yeah, this looks like a N'Zoth strategy coming out of Anfall.
Yes, yeah. As the Scrap Golem as well. There's some sort of control in the Zoth list, it looks like, indeed. Probably runs the what's that guy's name? The warrior legendary with the brings back your
Sourfang Overlord.
Yes, your
Sourfang,
frenzy.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so we might see a couple of the Stonewall Anchorman, the Rush with Frenzy draw cards. Okay, Trampling Rhino. All right. This is a hunter I recognize. I recognize this.
This looks right. Yeah. Also, another sort of 29-30 card is that Scavenger Ingenuity. In this case, finding the Trampling Rhino means, as long as we don't find the other one next turn, we can play this Warsong Wrangler to really buff up these rhinos.
Yeah, 9 attack rhinos are just so threatening. And looks like Naralax, Archdruid Naralax coming into hand. Where are you on Archdruid Naralax? You a Naralax gamer?
In control lists, I like having a Naralax. I've won games off of a perfect pull from the dream cards, getting the Ysir Awakens or something into a board like Shaman or Druid puts up. Sometimes just can win you the game, on turn 4 or 5. When they're about to just beat you before you can really get a handle on the board. So yeah, I like some Narlax. I don't know if it's always the pick, but add some flavor and variety. I like it.
Yeah, and sometimes you hit when Naralax hits, like you're saying, it is just, sometimes you play it on turn 3 and then they give you a turn 4 play. It's like, oh yes, I will take an Emerald Dragon.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Or a sap. I'll take a 1-mana sap. Oh, okay. Well,
Oh.
that's unfortunate
Well,
for
we can buff
Chewbacca.
our little bunnies. Oh, Moonfang as well, an interesting extra beast here. Does mean that, you don't always. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so gonna buff that. I don't mind that either. It only takes 1 damage at a time, so giving it that extra 1 health means it could take an extra 1 hit.
And that's a threatening Moonfang. And on-fall, like you're saying, since a lot of the removal is damage-based, Moonfang, unless there's coerces or something. Oh my gosh, Angry Mankrik already. And we can just, we can just wound prey this thing to death and get a Intrepid Initiate up and rolling. And by
Yeah,
this
looks
thing,
like-
of course, I mean Blade. How did I forget Kargath Bladefist's name?
Yeah, weave in that hero power as well here for Chewbacca. Maybe get some better value off of another minion, and there is, like we mentioned, the Stonemaul Anchorman, so that works as a pirate for N'Zoth as well as for the Sourfang to res.
And it looks like Stonemaul Anchorman is going to be the choice to deal with this Intrepid Initiate. Intrepid Initiate is just one of those. For 1 mana, it's just so many stats to have to try to deal with. And now these rhinos,
Yeah,
one
I want
only
to chip
has.
away.
Yeah, they can get in there. Which rhino? I mean, obviously the 7 health rhino. Oh, actually, just gonna go ahead and play the Moonfang and just go ahead and develop that threat.
Yeah, I mean, I like 1 health minions for Trampling Rhino. Could have pushed 6 there. Still
Yeah.
had a pretty beefy 7/3.
Gosh, with Moonfang in the list, I wonder if that means that I'm trying to figure out what Chewbacca cut to make room for this Moonfang, and I wonder if there's a piercing shot missing, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that being a potential cut.
Oh, and this is a recovery turn right here. Bear off Coin Rancor is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
just clear out everything, add a bunch of armor, and crucially leave nothing on board to trample into. You were just talking about how good 1 health minions are to trample into, and there's nothing to trample right now.
Yeah, one of the risks of holding on to these rhinos a little too long, I think oftentimes you just want to get them out when you can. Now they're kind of sitting here. We have a quick shot in hand as well, which we really want to get draw out of. So I think holding off on that rhino last turn for Chewbacca could have been a big deal.
And now Anfall has, oh my gosh, a mute.
Yeah, let
the
me eat
Mutanus
one of
Hood.
those.
Yeah, that is extremely tempting.
Yeah,
Anfall sitting on plenty of
there's
life.
A buff beast in there. You did not hit the buff beast, but that one should do. I would say.
I think Anfall will find those terms acceptable, and gonna go ahead and start digging. Baraka Kodo Bane represents a bunch of draw. Actually, just gonna go ahead and take the True Aim Crescent, though. An interesting choice. I didn't think that Chewbacca would want to take the 9 damage.
Why would you, if you're going to use the Crescent, you go face with those every time?
Yeah.
Because they're going to attack again. So you get the damage in. I mean, my understanding is if you're picking the Crescent, that's what you want to use. So
That's what I'm assuming as well.
I feel like you attack with everything, then Crescent the 9/9, and you get extra damage off of your Rhino. Oh. So we're not.
Oh,
so we don't want to take damage.
Okay. Why did we take the Crescent? It's like you were saying, to me said, we're face tanking this 9 in order to try to maximize face damage, but instead just seeing it as 4 damage over 4 turns. Outrider's Axe means that Anfall is never going to run out of resources. And another copy of the axe ready to go. And now both rhinos are gone, crucially. One being devoured and one being spent to clear the Devourer. That Devourer 2 for 1 on rhinos.
And that's not what you want to see. You really want to get your draws off your quick shots now. Only going to get 1 draw.
Yeah, and this needs to hit like Kodo Bane or something.
Oof, okay,
Oh.
yeah. There's that crescent just not doing anything. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah. We barely knew you.
Not going to do much there. And okay. I, I guess it's pack tactics, right?
I would
You just
assume so.
need damage. Yeah, Moonfang's gone as well. We've got double Volpertinger. We still got the resizing pouch. Maybe there's an out there.
And this pack tactics will activate and give a 3/3 Marsual Cub adorable and learned, but I mean Scrap Golem is just going to come wheeling onto this board.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to just dream this little cub. No need to worry about it too much, and I'm struggling to find an answer here for Chewbacca. It might just be over.
Yeah, I mean Onfall's going to be able to hit that hero power every turn. Once Crush Lord of Turtling comes out and the Frenzy activates, Kolkar Pack Runner with no spells in hand is a sad state of affairs.
Wow.
Whoa, gosh, what secret do you even want? I mean, Explosive Trap technically is the most damage, but I mean, Open the Cages doesn't seem like it's ever going to activate, so Freezing Trap is the choice.
Yeah, I guess prevent the 4 armor from the Scrap Golem eventually, and maybe make them have to replay it. I don't know. This is looking real tough here for Chewbacca. I think there's early trampling Rhino turns, holding on to them a little too long, and wow, going for the heal too. Just Anfal saying, you know what, you're never gonna kill me. You're out of rhinos. You're out. Your Moonfang's gone, which is like something I wasn't expecting, maybe, but can really get us there. There's one piercing shot, so there is at least one in the deck. Still no indication of what was cut there.
Yeah, and Piercing Shot is going to get some value, but this, the defensive Alexstrasza, of course, like you said, putting Anfall just seemingly and permanently out of range. But also, as Chewbacca, what are we going to do about this 8/8? Like this is a big problem. And Crash Lord of Turtling's just going to come down. Is there any way to activate?
In Rancor here, activate it, clear off most of the board, only leave the 2/1 up, and you can clear that with your weapon. Yeah, I think that's it. That should probably seal it if it wasn't over. Yeah, Chewbacca agrees. And that's game 1. Going in Anfal's favor. Starting, in favor of wherever I may roam, who were down going into this this night, 8-1. So starting to make that comeback.
And that Hunter going down to I mean, that's actually, does Chewbacca know for sure that's oh yeah, when Crush Lord of Turtling comes down, is that just guaranteed there's an Azoth in there?
Yeah, I mean, you knew it was control of some kind.
Yeah.
You have, it looks like we really like these primordials, so
yeah,
here we go. This would be the answer to that control warrior, or a good answer anyway.
Yeah, and now we'll see when how long of a game this druid can continue to ramp up pressure. We've seen the druid's not going to win in fatigue most likely. There's a lot of draw with the those Twilight Runners, and then of course the Primordial Protectors to siphon specific cards and spells. So it's druid is looking to kill people, and we'll see if Onfall's going to be able to control the board long enough to mount. Now Onfall's going to be able to generate a couple of big boards, right? With the N'Zoth will generate a big board, but it's not 7/8/8 big boards.
Yeah, not quite the 7/8/8, and I mean certainly good, but it's more about control and then kind of just slowly chipping away for this warrior. And on the other side, for the druid, it's kind of about waiting until you have an insane turn, a cycle of turns, and you just start dropping bomb after bomb after bomb.
Oh gosh, the 3 mana overgrowth available. Chewbacca is going to have a dead turn, but this is a control warrior. You've probably got a couple of turns to go ahead and let the engine turn over.
Yeah, was there ever a consideration for coin overgrowth there? You put yourself to 5 mana next turn, you can just drop the Lake Thresher. I don't know. I mean, this matchup, I think
you wouldn't be able to do that because the coin is technically discounted to 1.
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes.
I've done that before.
Yeah, don't make that mistake.
Speaking from a place of true felt pain, I have done that before.
Yeah, don't make that mistake.
But
Can
actually is going to coin out the resizing patch.
yeah, get yourself a Innervate or a wow.
Hmm.
Hitting none of the ramp cards. A little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
That's usually you do that there looking for Innervate or
The Lightning Bloom, I guess.
yeah, Lightning Bloom. Yeah, those are the two big ones. And hitting two of those the Imp and the Murloc.
Gosh, this is the second time that Chewbacca has been offered Celestial Alignment. Still not going to take it, but it's just worth mentioning. It's been offered. The game wants Chewbacca to take Celestial Alignment.
Game definitely does, but I think Chewbacca's curve is pretty clear here. Going to be that Guardian Animals next turn into a Protector the following turn plus a Strongman. That's going to be a lot. And here, this Guardian Animals could pull some draw as well, which could be pretty strong.
Yeah, Twilight Runner off of this is actually, and also
There
pretty
it is.
likely with both Threshers in hand. Yeah, I mean, sure, you only get 2 cards off of this, but you clear the Scrap Column. The Lake Thresher that was just sort of played for tempo for its 4/6 stat line last turn is actually going to be able to chip away at some of this armor. I'm
All right.
looking. Yeah, what does Anfall do this turn? There's because these are not the most threatening, but they're also very awkward to try to deal with. You know, that 5 health lines up very badly against Kargath. It also lines up quite badly against Stonemaul Anchorman. Just, but you don't want to commit premium stuff. You know that there's going to be clowns in your future.
Yeah, this is awkward, but it's not worth committing too much. So gonna just get the draw for the Anchorman, do some damage, and yeah, I think it's Protector time. We get one of our survivals with a clown drawn. Hits the Deathwing again. Or I guess that was the previous series, but you know, both Primordials pulling that Deathwing.
Oh my gosh! And I just realized that Chewbacca has Innervate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any board that Chewbacca is able to put together, you know, committing this strongman just means that Innervate Survival of the Fittest is going to represent approximately 200,000 damage.
I think that's an exact calculation you've done there.
Yeah,
So.
There's 31 showing as is, so
Yeah, no need even for the survival with this board. I'm sure can imagine that will come down, but yeah, probably Lord Barov into Rancor here. Gain as much armor as possible, clear off this board. But that is some premium removal, like you said, and we have a Blade Storm, so one more answer to this first Carnival Clowns. But you know, you can play around that. We if we had held on to that Strongman, could have Strongmanned into the Clown, which would have prevented a easy Blade Storm. Would have had to sneak in a Coerce somehow.
Oh yeah, and gosh, yeah, actually we see 2 Coerces and a Blade Storm available, but Anfall is about to be put to the test with regards to clearing out. I mean, clowns are coming, right? Like Anfall may not know that they're coming next turn, but
it's almost like a situation where you don't want to play minions if you know clowns are coming, because that makes your Blade Storm a little bit trickier.
True.
So I almost want to do everything but, like, I mean, we can just even play the Bulwark or the Outrider's Action, just hero power this turn and say, you know what, I'm not going to play anything into your board. I mean, you could, I guess, play Kresh because the Carnival Clowns are 8, but
oh yeah.
so technically you could play the Kresh and then it survives with 1 health, but it's not that exciting. Ooh, this would be the play. If Chewbacca is thinking about this Blade Storm, you would play the Broom first into the Carnival Clown, and yes, Chewbacca with the big brain play. This is going to make it a lot harder. Wow. So, yeah. How do you deal with it? The Blade Storm is not going to be able to. You can't coerce until non-damage minion until you've Blade Stormed. So the order is really awkward. You have to kind of play the Bulwark into the Coerce. So you're wasting this Outrider's Act. You play the Bulwark into Coerce into the Blade Storm here to clear. It's not exciting. You definitely don't love doing that, but that's the only way I can see to clear this. Let's see if Anfall spots that one. It's exact mana as well. And
yeah. And there's just no other way, because the Blade Storm, You have to Blade Storm second.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
And you have to get your Coerce active, so you have to play something before the Coerce to destroy the 5/5.
Okay, going to attack and then
but
Bulwark.
this doesn't. So you're gonna use both Coerces here and then Blade Storm. So did not spot the Bulwark out. Instead, I want to get a charge out of this Outrider's Axe. I don't know. That's using both Coerces. I don't like that very much. But
I
does
guess-
clear.
Yeah, and is going to be able to drop a Nazoth. So Chewbacca is going to have to rebuild the pressure with Scenario, a pair of, or actually just one Cenarian Ward. That's a fantastic creature to get.
Yeah, but so far we've only played, I believe, a mech and a pirate. We haven't played the Kresh yet, so this Nazoth isn't that good.
Oh yeah, and Mutanus, a little bit late, unable to eat any clowns thus far. Could eat a gigantic lake thresher.
That's a big thresher. Yeah.
Yeah, just gonna go ahead and let the Mutanus rip. And now all of a sudden, Chewbacca's sitting on a bunch of mana ramp and nothing to ramp into. Bulwark. Okay, Anfal was mousing over the Bulwark, but we've seen Anfal already extremely value the charges on this Outrider's Axe, so I would be surprised if they then decided to overwrite. So he's going to take 11 here. And there is the Overlord Sourfang, so the going to be able to bring back
an Anchorman here so far.
Yeah, it needs to get this Kresh down. Anfal does in order to try to get some value off this Nazoth and the Sourfang. But Chewbacca's been able to just generate enough threat that Anfal's had to constantly react for the past several turns.
Yeah, Twilight Runner being on the board with no answer to it is pretty nice here. So gonna try to get a draw to look for an answer. I don't know if there's anything that could actually answer it here. So yeah, it does get another draw as well.
Reaching for this Tempo Kargath potentially. With a stage dive in hand, might be able to accelerate out the Kargath Prime in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just threatening. I mean, that's a lot of damage. It's about 20, I think about 20 power showing. Chewbacca gonna cycle. Yeah.
Go for the Wild Growth before attacking here. You have the 2 draws off of the Twilight Runner. I would have maybe liked to see that because then you actually have mana to utilize. Do find the Clowns, so second survival could keep you in this if you find it here. Stoon does have Lunar to clear off one of these here. Could innervate Hero Power, I guess. I guess play the Wild Growth first, then Lightning Bloom Hero Power. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
you can just pounce, I guess.
Oh yeah, pounce will do it.
Forgot we had that. Guardian Animals, we have, I believe, if we're running a similar list.
Maybe just one Teacher's Pet? Maybe a Moonfang?
Yeah, if the Moonfang's in there, like we saw in the previous list, those would be the last 2 beasts.
Yeah, and actually Chewbacca down to only 5 cards left in deck.
Yeah, one of them's Survival, one of them's Primordial Protector. So I think the order you maybe want to draw things here is Primordial first, summon that 10/10 or 10 cost unit, and then go into the Clowns the following turn after you play Survival. So Survival and then Clown. So that's like 3 turns away, and that's assuming we find the Primordial here off the top. I think there's also Cenarian Ward probably and a Strongman. So a lot of power in the bottom 5 cards here. On the other side, though, just going to summon 2 Stonewall Anchorman, get some more draws. Just saying, I don't need this Kresh. I have enough armor. I don't need to worry about it. There's a Survival off the top, so just 1 turn away from a giant clown. 12 clowns, yeah.
12 clowns.
Ooh,
looks like Chewbacca.
Up,
oh, nice. Yeah, that's right on time. Chewbacca is going to take at least 13 this turn. And it looks like Anfal also thinking about, when you see the second survival go, that's probably a pretty clear indicator that there's some clowns available. Also, well aware that there's only 4 cards left in deck at this point. And so Anfal's just going to get ready to try to maximize the Warriors' chances to winning this upcoming brawl. Strong man off the top. That's a gigantic. That's a very strong man.
That is a very strong man. So if my guess is accurate, the final cards are Protector, Cenarian Ward, and I guess the other Beast, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a teacher's pet, maybe a second lunar eclipse. I don't know if
it could be
that's
second Lunar.
yeah.
Or Broomstick. Is there one more Broomstick? I think we only saw
Oh,
one.
could be. Yep, could be a second broomstick. So yeah, Chewbacca probably. This Guardian Animals may just be a dead card. There may actually not be any.
I think it probably has none. And none of the 12-12s won. So big result there for Anfall, and could be game sealing. I think it was already looking pretty good.
Gosh, another 4 durability Outriders decks. Anfall hasn't even had to play the Bulwark of Azzinoth yet.
And when do we get to 5 health here as the Druid?
Yeah, that last turn was pretty. I mean, it was just sort of a bunch of, it was a bunch of pirates and stuff, but a bunch of 4 attack pirates that didn't seem. They've just been putting in the work. A lot of ground game, really committing to the run, and just.
Oh, interesting. We have the Kargath plus Shield Slam available. We have 2 Shield Slams, so could do some interesting stuff there. Or could just Hero Power Shield Slam and Blade Storm this. We've seen both clowns, so not too scared of another clowns or anything like that.
So there's just no room for Yasharaj in here, huh? There's no way one of the last 2 cards is a Yasharaj?
Unless we are only running 1 Primordial Protector or 1 Cenarian Ward, it's possible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We've only seen 1 Cenarian Ward still. Jeez.
Okay, that is not how I expected to do that turn, to be honest.
Huh.
Using both Shield Slams there and the Kargath, I guess you're healing the most that way. So it is Protector, so we'll see. I mean, this Protector could come down and just draw that Cenarian Ward, put an 8 drop. Yeah, so it is. So those were the minions. So this is the last chance here for Chewbacca. Anfall, only the Blade Storm left is good removal, which I think maybe the Shield Slams could have been better suited this turn.
Yeah, I guess it's just going to be a Blade Storm Rancor. Oh, nope, it's going to be a concede. Chewbacca's going to go ahead and... I guess Chewbacca was going to die to fatigue because it wasn't a taunt.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So this Warrior off to a strong start here. Once again, going up to a pretty quick 2-0, but we've seen what can happen. we've seen what can happen. And we'll see now the Warrior of Chewbacca is going to have to reverse sweep Anfall, starting with the Control Warrior.
I want to be a warrior.
Embrace the chaos.
Yeah, let's see if it can be done here.
Rush Warrior from Chewbacca. So we're going to see 2 different, even though it is Warrior v Warrior, it is going to be not a mirror match. It's going to be the Rush version versus the controlling with a N'Zoth and Frenzy flavor. And that's instead of cards like Silas Darkmoon, I would assume. We haven't seen any kind of wombo combo cards in Anfall's list yet. We saw a lot of the cards last game.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start here for Chewbacca. Although I think this is slightly, or somewhat control favored. But definitely a good start here to have.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how greedy Chewbacca is with basically board generation. I'm interested to see where Chewbacca tries to hit a big power spike. It's not quite as spell druidy where you have to push all of your cards in on a single turn, and if they clear it, you lose. But Rush Warrior, with the hand buff and opportunities from conditioning and stuff, they oftentimes have a sort of going into the mid game or into the early stages of the late game. It's just big bombs, but they do eventually run out if you can keep clearing. And meeting out those resources over the course of those turns can be kind of a high wire act.
Oh yeah. Oh hey, look, Emerald Drake off of the Nerlex for a nice curve. We were
Nice.
just talking about that. Yeah, it looks like Ricaro is going to come down early just to start putting that pressure on. I was surprised a little bit by that Crab Rider pick. Not that the options were that exciting, but Crab Rider I feel like pretty weak into Control Warrior. Not too many minions that it lets you trade into, and it's not too much power on its own.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the ability to, since it loses that Wind Fury, because there was a time when it, in conjunction with Rokara, was just so much snowballing pressure. But yeah, it's not going to be able to. This Emerald Drake will eat this Crab Rider alive if there's.
Oh, and there's a second one if we wanted another.
Dang, 8 mana worth of 7/6s.
Whoa. Just for 2 damage here? Oh, no, it'll be 3, right? Because
it will be 3, yeah.
It buffs the first time. Oh, no, yeah. So it does let you just clear it off with your weapon, which is nice. Keeps your board alive. Overlord Runthak. That's a nice pickup if your bumper card gets dealt with. You always have those 1/1s to buff.
Yeah, and going into turn 5 is also great. Just being able to play a Runthak, hit a couple of things. Looks like this Rokara is finally going to be answered. The Anchorman coming down. And now Chewbacca has, wow, a Tent Trasher for 3. I always forget that Gnarg is a demon. That's one of the things.
Yeah,
I just have a blind
demon,
spot.
we got a mech. And also we got a Murloc if we wanted to play that. Could have got a 2-cost Tent Trasher. Probably not worth it. I think if you're gonna trade, I'd like to value trade. I know it's kind of awkward because you don't get the buff on the bumper cars, but this pushes more damage.
Yeah, and the Runthak is still hitting Samuro and Tent Trasher. I guess a little bit lower impact hitting this Troublemaker, but still good. Still good to have just a shield slam proof Troublemaker.
Bigger Troublemaker, it makes it harder to deal with. Summon to those 3/3s, so it's pretty resistant to Blade Storms as is, so needs to find a Coerce. Karagath, a good pickup. Could value trade. Gonna just say, I don't want you to keep buffing, so I'd rather just remove the Runthak.
The Parade Leader found. So there's a Parade Leader.
Yeah, you could Parade Leader, Crab Rider, and Tent Trasher if you want to go wide, but I like saving things, holding back a little bit just to keep applying that pressure. We have the Coin Troublemaker if, let's say, this board is dealt with here.
Yeah, this says to me, Coin Troublemaker coming down next turn. So Anfall, but it's also 12 damage, right? I mean, Chewbacca has plenty of damage showing right now, so it is going to be the Death's Head Cultist coming out from Anfall. I wonder when this Bulwark is coming down.
Yeah, you got to start being a little bit scared here. Might have to come down even this turn. What else are you doing though if you do that? If you play the Death Head Cultist and the Bulwark, there's really nothing else you can do with your mana. No armor to shield slam. So yeah, that is going to be the case, and I think we will see that Coin Troublemaker. It can trade in the 6/6, go face with the other 6, deal with the Bulwark just this turn immediately. Instead of quite a wide board that really only Brawl can deal with easily.
Yeah, just none of these creatures have the same amount of health. And you mentioned the 3/3s that the Troublemaker generates is great at protecting the Troublemaker. And I'm looking at the hand right now, and I don't see a Coerce. I see 2 Blade Storms and 0 Coerce Eye available.
Yeah, and bye-bye Bulwark. There is the Coerce, though, off the top. Speak too soon and things will happen. But now, a little bit more available. Could play, just to get it active, could play the Corsair Cache to get the Coerce active. Alternatively, could go for the Blade Storm. Only clears off the 3/2, which is a little awkward. No way to deal with that into a Blade Storm Coerce. So,
is it going to be a double Blade Storm? Oh, we don't have enough mana to double Blade Storm and Coerce. So, I mean, there's still 15 damage showing.
This is 15 damage. I guess they don't have too much damage from hand. I mean, there's Alex, but that's a turn away.
18.
Sword Eater's only 3 damage, so you're alive at 1.
Alive, technically alive, is still alive.
Still in it. I mean, this could really flip. You just find a Rancor off the top. That's killing 4 minions and giving you 8 armor. That's pretty good here. If we do find it, could be a game changer if we do manage to find it.
Yeah, looks like Chewbacca reaching for this Crab Rider, thinking about committing it as a tempo
Ooh.
play, but
That is not it. I mean, you could Blade Storm, Shield Slam the 6/2, and then you're looking at 5 damage, so you're dead anyway.
yeah.
I
Is
don't
there?
see. There's no way to. Yeah.
And there's no. You're only allowed one bulwark per list, so we can't Corsair cash out another bulwark to try to steal an extra turn. Although actually, we would still be dead.
Shield slamming this. Oh, so we're shield slamming into the Outriders Act. Maybe there's something for 2 mana. Ranker's not 2 mana, unfortunately. Or that would have been a good answer. Let's see, did we find it? No. That is okay. So we're still in here. Rush Warrior finding the win into the Control Warrior. Gonna have to find that reverse sweep. I mean, we saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Certainly possible.
And I'm interested to see if Anfal reaches for this Druid or this Hunter to battle against a Rush Warrior. I didn't see anything particularly surprising in that Rush Warrior list. Looks like one of those, a refined Rush Warrior list. So the Anfal has a pretty good idea of what they have to beat. And so it's going to be a Druid, the continuation of Clowns, or it is. I guess it technically still could be Miracle Druid, but the Strongman feels like a Clown's Druid to me.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you want here if you're trying to beat the Rush Warrior. Spell Druid a little bit worse at that. Certainly can still get it. Spell Druid does crazy wacky things and can just win on turn 4 or 5 sometimes if you just don't have the answer. But I think the Primordial, a better list into the Rush Warrior, just has those bombs that it can often not deal with.
Yeah, and when that board of Clowns comes out on, when the Guardian Animals come out on turn, on the 8 mana turn, whatever turn that happens to be, it could be. And then into Clowns 2 turns later. Really, the only big board removal tool that Rush Warrior has is Giant Samuro, and that's it. And getting a Samuro giant enough to clear Clowns, I don't think I've ever seen it happen before.
Definitely not the 12/12s that we saw in the previous Primordial games.
Right.
Those tend to be tough. Even if you get your Samuro big enough, it often just dies to 12. Damn, even if you get it to 6, to do the AoE to 1, you need to get it to 12 to do the 12 AoE to everything. And yeah, I haven't seen that either. So
Gnarg coming into hand a little late. That's just one of the things that you want to see on turn 1, but it does mean that this turn could be. Oh, I was assuming it was going to be Gnarg and then either another Tempo Parade Leader or a Bumper Cars, but
wow, so not going with either of the sort of rampy cards with the Runtak and I believe it was Rakara, right? Were the other 2 options?
I think so, yeah.
So choosing instead to go for the Kargath. And right now, Anfal just trying to answer each board that comes down. Doing a pretty good job so far.
Troublemaker off the top. We'll see if Chewbacca is going to be able to find the space to be able to play out a Troublemaker. Chewbacca is trying to figure out how to generate some threat and slow Anfal down a little bit. This could be a Lightning Bloom into Primordial Protector, although that's tricky. Then you're overloaded for 2 on your 7 mana turn.
Yeah, but 7 mana I think is a weak turn for Druid anyway. All of your big power plays are at 8 anyway, so
True. Very true.
Give up your turn 7. This is just so powerful.
Yeah.
Well, less powerful when you hit a 1/1. I mean, it clears off the Kargath, I guess, but not the 10-drop you want to see. You want stats.
I don't know if I've ever seen the golden version of the Dark Moon Rabbit. That thing is scary. Look at how evil those eyes are.
Oh, I mean, it's straight up the rabbit from Monty Python, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Holy Grail. It's just that killer rabbit for sure.
Great gnashing teeth. Moonfang coming down. Yeah. And so it looks like next turn is just going to be a Cenarian Ward for Anfal, unless there's obviously the Clown's Draw changes everything because of Lightning Bloom potentially. But then you're overloaded going into your 9 mana turn, so But Anfall right now is just kind of
Could
playing one
throw in
big
the
card.
ETC here as well. Just get extra damage in with your 2 rushers, or at
Yeah.
least the 1 rusher. I mean, I don't know how much the ETC is doing in your list anyway. But I guess just gonna hold off. Yeah, if you're not gonna attack with the rushers, no reason to play it just yet.
That is going to represent extra damage
Mm.
and potentially over the top damage.
Oh.
Another Primordial Protector.
Well, we get another shot here. Rabbit's a lot stronger this time around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rabbit would be pretty good now. Could clear a lot of this off.
Not a rabbit this time around.
No.
And
Not quite
now-
as evil.
Yeah. Yeah, 7-5, probably not the most stats either. We've been pretty pampered with our double Deathwings recently, so
Right.
I guess returning to the mean here, the average with the Dark Moon into the Yogg here.
Yeah, there are some pretty uninspiring 10 drops now that I'm thinking about it. Because of course you always think of like Scrapyard Colossus, the Deathwing, like you were talking about. Like, but there are some.
There are a couple in there, yeah.
Yeah, the Elder Gods are not. I guess Yasharaj is
They're
pretty
okay.
good, but
Yeah, Yasharaj. I mean, even N'Zoth isn't terrible. Like, they're all decently set. They're not like the 10 drops you want, but they're okay. They're about average. So gonna actually, like we saw there, the Lightning Bloom into the Broom does mean that we can't play the Cenarian Ward next turn. So does clear off the board pretty well there, but leaves you pretty vulnerable for a turn here.
Yeah, 7 is awkward. Okay, I guess the
We
weight
found
picked
something
up.
to do.
Yeah, so at least we get to spend our mana on something. Finds the clowns before turn 10. Crucial.
All right. Well, we've got our curve. We just need to survive 2 turns to be able to do it. That's not something we want to play.
Nope. The turn 9 mana is the worst time for those growths to show up. Oh, we have Troublemaker into Troublemaker. You were mentioning that it's important to stay alive as Anfall, and these Troublemakers are going to make that a bit trickier.
Yeah, I mean, if we play the survival here, we need to find like a strong man to just tank some damage. That's not going to be it. Might just have to Cenarian Ward. You cannot just play survival here, or you're dead. So, Anfall just going to have to high roll a Cenarian Ward. I don't know what you're getting at 8 mana that really saves you.
Yeah, you need to like reach back into the past and grab a Void Lord or something from.
Let's see what we get.
Because so right now,
gonna do it.
No, 24 damage showing from Chewbacca. So, wait a minute, gentlemen.
Wow.
What's
all right? This is just the night of reverse sweeps. I mean, and there's just extra damage available there. No need to reveal your deck though. Did not show the ETC or the Alex. I mean, you could assume they're in the Rush Warrior, but not everyone runs ETC. But I think almost everyone runs Alex, but ETC a little bit more of a flex choice. So hold on to that. No need to reveal for this final game here. But yeah, game 5 again. This is just tonight. Is you win 2, and then it's just a one game takes it all.
Here we are, best of 1v1, Rush Warrior versus the Hunter of Anfall. Our first time seeing this Hunter, of course.
Yeah, are we going to see some weird beast stuff again, or is it going to be Face Hunter? Face Hunter can get there. I think Rush Warrior is a little bit favored, but has to get a decent start.
Yeah, has that Crab Rider early on, and this is a matchup where Crab Rider still can get some work done, and it does look like just the texture of Anfall's hand is looking like a Face Hunter of some kind, some sort of Rhino Face Hunter. It looks like. So it got the Volpertinger on 1, but the Crab Rider is going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, perfect answer to this this start here. Could determine the outcome of this game. Even this early answer. We'll see.
And now for Anfall, picks up a Wriggling Horror off the top.
Yeah, imagine if that was if those 1/1s are still around, that would have just really snowballed the game. Now does have the Truant Crescent to clear this off, so not too bad here.
Is there a consideration for Adorable infesting this Kolak, I wonder? I guess not. Holding the coin for Warsong Wrangler, or other things in the future, but
yeah, I think with your current hand, you don't want to. You ideally don't want to Wriggling with 1. I mean, you could just play the Adorable into the Wriggling here, get value immediately.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Just go ahead and then, like you said, it gives you the 2 targets as well, and that's as good as your wriggling when you get the the stats on both sides. The classic was it the classic Defender of Argus? It's like
yes. But yeah, so this does give you more options moving into, you have your turn 4, and then ideally you pick up a Tundra or a Rhino, and then you play that on 5. So
And,
setting up for a good turn, a good curve. Sword Eater does answer this collect pretty nicely.
yeah, and crucially has that high health total.
Oh, there's another wriggling available.
Oh,
Could make things a little
interesting.
bit simpler here if we want. Alternatively, yeah, if you put the War Song last, I guess you're kind of just saying, these are going to trade here. You go face and these both go into, I don't know, a little awkward.
I think it's going to be a coin wound prey this turn.
Okay.
Just go ahead and try to.
So you wound prey and then use the the 2/1. Oh, I was gonna say use the 2/1 to attack, so you keep the 2/2 alive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
So I think the Anfall thought that it was just an order of left to right, but it's an order of how you played them, I believe. So the wriggling came down after the Marcel Cub, so the Cub attacked first. So yeah, I would have ideally liked to see the horror go in and then the attack with true aim, but not too bad.
Yep, ends up coming out about the same in the wash here. So the Tundra Rhino is available to come down on turn 5.
Could do the full clear as well if you want on this 6/3. So you would have to attack with the War Song and then attack with the true aim after you've played the Rhino. And that would work if you want to clear off the Moon Fang and deal the most damage. Because you would deal 6 damage with the Rhino. It does kill the Rhino though.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because the Rhino's only got +1 health with the. So it actually is going to be a wriggling horror turn, just going to go wide again.
Yeah, it looks like just going face. You're saying I'm going to keep pushing damage as best I can, and then I can.
Oh, actually
make
attacks
these
with the
trades.
crew.
Yeah, so this will again. It'll be whatever it attacked first, whatever was played first. Attack. So losing the strongest minions there, a little bit awkward, but able to push that extra little bit of damage.
And has Chewbacca down to 15 right now. Imprisoned Gnarg going to be the development choice.
Interesting.
For Chewbacca, and actually just it doesn't want to play anything into a Rhino.
Yeah.
Every creature Rush Warrior has, of course, is a removal spell, kind of. Is a piece of removal, especially with playmakers available and bumper cars. So just letting Anfall play first. And see what comes out here. So the Blade Master is unbuffed at this point.
Yeah, now, I mean, you have the Playmaker, the Parade Leader, and Bumper Cars, so you can start making some big bumper cars. Which will allow you to clear 2 of these minions, as well as generate a couple of 1/1s in hand. So I think that's what we'll see here.
Chewbacca is kind of hurting for some hand buff mechanics. Hasn't been able to find either conditioning or Rokara or Overlord Runthak. So just, like you said, gonna just go ahead and generate a bunch of Dark Moon Riders, a bunch of bumper cars, skipping the Parade Leader, and instead just going for a bunch of 1/1s.
Valuing just duplicating the 1/1s over the extra damage. I can see that as well. You weren't getting better trades with extra damage. I mean, it was one better trade, but you're having less of the 1/1s spawned, so comes out about the same. But yeah, I really want to see the Rhinos going into these 1/1s. They just gave you a bunch of 1/1s to attack into. That's what you should be using for sure. If you're scared enough, you can clear off, the 4/3. No! Use the Rhino! Okay,
looks like the Rhino, I guess, only able to play one Rhino at a time.
Yeah.
So it's just going to go ahead and... But yeah, I mean, 1/1s, that's free money for the Tundra. It's the only way you get to charge anymore.
Oh boy. Yeah, this might be it here. We have another Rhino available as well.
Claw Machine, Emerald Sky Talon. I mean, Claw Machine does clear the Rhino and dies, but this Gnarg is actually going to spell our doom as Chewbacca because there's just no way to lose it.
Yeah, the Gnarg, kind of a problem. And, we set it up earlier, knowing that the Thunder Rhinos were in hand, saying, you know what, I'll play around it by not playing really minions, but it does come out of it eventually, and there was nothing else to attack, so I think we have, that's going to be 5 from the Rhino plus another 3, so that's 8. So we're too short. We don't have enough mana to hero power along with it, so probably just going to see this into hero power this turn. And then next turn we have the quick shot hero power, even if they armor up. If Chewbacca armors up, there's just no way. Oh, there's some heal though.
There's some heal.
Is that enough though? Because we're looking at 7 damage on the board. It can just go face next turn.
Yeah, that's tough. Chewbacca reaching for this ETC. Is there a counter lethal? Is there a way that Chewbacca can rush in these Dark Moon Riders?
Just keep moving.
I don't think there's enough, unless I did my math way wrong.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you needed to make that happen. It would have had to be with a playmaker, maybe. I'm not even sure if that would have been enough, because you can only rush 4 in, which would have only been, 8 damage plus the 3. That's only 12 damage. Yeah, it's only 11 damage, so that wouldn't have been enough. And quick shot will do it, and Anfall takes it. I mean, it was a very tight one, but Anfall secures that final game here, meaning that wherever I may roam, with that 3-2 here, it was 10-5 before, it goes up to 12-9. So still very much in it. It's going to be a close one, but Donde versus your Mumket it's gonna come down to that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the hypest possible situation going into the game 5, because sometimes you can get in that situation where like a team has already lost the series, right, going into the 4th or 5th game. Not so this case. Not so in this case. Donde and your Mumkid are going to have to. I mean, they're both gonna have to bring it home, and it looks like they also have mirrored class choices: druids, priests, rogues, and warriors for both of them. So it all comes down to, and Donde, of course, the team captain. So leading from the front, Donde is gonna have to do for team wherever I may roam. Wow, what a night! What a night!
Yeah, I mean, going into tonight, they were up like 8-1.
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, both series so far going in to game 5, and really going down to the wire. I mean, a win one way, I think, sealed it. But even with those 3-2s, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Like I said, it's going to be 12-9. So Donde needs a win. It doesn't matter what kind of win, a win will do it. Welcome. Big win there for your team.
Yeah.
Before you start there, Anfall, look at the 2 teams in this Discord chat right now. Anfall with Boston and me with Montreal. We're bracketing. So there you go. Congrats on the win, Anfall.
Thank you. Wish I got that in 4, but kind of bricked there.
Yeah, that Rush Warrior was kind of a tricky opponent there at the end. How were you feeling going into game 3 though? You were able to go to a pretty quick 2-0 lead, and then all of a sudden this Rush Warrior comes out and starts jamming the gears. How were you doing mentally game 3, game 4?
Not very well, because I know we need at least 1-3-1 to take the week. So that's 3-2 is not ideal.
Not ideal, but you're still in it. Going into tonight, we were just talking. Your team was down. 3 matches to go, so still we're in it. But any loss would have sealed it. And so far, the 3-2 wins coming in. Yeah, could have used bigger wins, but you're still in it, and it's coming down to game 5. Were you expecting those lists? Let's talk about your match before we jump into this next one that's coming up. But were you expecting those decks when you saw that lineup? I know you guys sort of brought a mirror, but a couple of different choices there potentially. I know we didn't see all the decks, with the bands, but is that sort of what you expected to come out here from Chewbacca?
That is what I was expecting, but with a lot more Moonfangs than I was expecting to see.
Yes, they definitely were on the Moonfang train. We saw Moonfang's appearance in the previous series as well. Pretty powerful card, and was able to make some big plays, but just not enough there to secure the win. for Chewbacca, but in your favor, obviously. So congratulations there.
Well, thank you. But
Tell us a little bit about your N'Zoth warrior. That was a cool. Not only did it just propel you out to an early lead, but that was a cool. Scrap golems, obviously Crash Lord of Turtling, a bunch of pirates. Tell us a little bit about that bring.
you could thank Heatrock for that one.
Oh yeah.
He supplied me with the list, and I just piloted it.
How did it feel? Did you have a chance to practice it? Like how did it feel in?
Believe it or not, no. I queued it up first time. Was game 1.
Just going for it. Yeah.
I mean,
Bold.
I've played a lot of Control Warrior in the past, so it's not an unfamiliar archetype for me. And it plays very control-y. So, yeah, no, it felt really good. I might bring it to ladder now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna steal that because that looks cool. I like playing. I'm just a sucker for N'Zoth in total anyway. So if there's a chance I can try some N'Zoth, I will jump at the chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaking of not the N'Zoth, but some of the fun sort of tech and the Primordial Druid, we saw previous matchups pulling some really big minions. How did you feel with the minions that you got that Primordial Druid game, getting that Dark Moon Rabbit and then the Yogg there? I think probably the two.
Yeah, I got them in the
lower
wrong
alts.
order. I wish I got the Yogg first, and then the Dark Moon Rabbit when he had the Moonfang up, and I could have
Yes.
cleaved that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that didn't feel very good. I mean, I kind of bricked early on. I got lucky and have the 2 lunar eclipses for his 2 parade leaders that were early, because that's how you lose that match. Is parade leader into everything.
Yeah. Parade leader into cards.
Yeah,
is pretty
most
good.
cards that say rush. Yeah, that's about it.
Yep. Sorry,
But yeah,
Brandon,
no,
I stepped on you there. What were you saying?
Oh no, you're good. No, I got nothing. Those were my questions.
And
Just
sorry.
excited to see the result here.
Yeah, and sorry, Anfall, I just stepped on you so that I could apologize to my Anadon for stepping on my Anadon. What were you saying?
I don't even remember. But now it's
Yeah,
all
let's-
on to Donde and this final game.
Yeah, you got any words for your teammate here before they start their match?
Scam
Words
and
of
scam
wisdom.
hard.
There you go. You heard it here, Donde. Scam and scam hard. Any word to your opponent after that hard fought series?
Great games, Chewbacca, and great games to No Pros here. Thanks for stepping in, Chewbacca, to E-sub tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, best of luck here to both remaining players, your mom, kid, and Donde in the upcoming match that will be started very, very shortly. That is going to determine this series, and winner of this will be in the finals of the Hero Series this season against Team Blast, who won earlier this weekend against Dabs on them for the other semifinals game.
That's a heck of a reward, huh? You successfully battled through this, going all the way to game 5. And if it's similar to how the previous series have gone, it's going to go to a game 5, match 5 to determine who the winner is, and then as a reward, battling Blast. Anfall, thanks so much for playing on stream as well. Definitely appreciate you coming on, and I know this is the playoffs. There's already plenty of tension, and then so displaying it for all of us to watch is great. So thank you for doing that.
No problem. Have a good night, everybody, and good luck with the rest of the stream.
Yeah, now you can breathe, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know.
Take it easy. But stick around, watch the next match here that's coming right up.
Oh, definitely will.
Thanks, Anfall. So we're just waiting for Donde and your mom kid to get their bands going on. Their banjo wagon.
Yeah.
The banjo wagon.
Yep.
I mean, I once again, so both of them bringing druid, priest, rogue, and warrior. Every lineup I look at that has priests in it, I of course lean towards a double priest ban. But does the addition of the rogue add any wrinkles to that in your view?
Nope.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a reason, but maybe it's a lack of imagination on my part. I don't know what kind of.
No, I think it's probably still. I think it's probably still the priest ban. Even if you bring something like Secret Rogue, poison rogue. I don't think it's worth bringing one of those for
Yeah.
the priest. I'd rather just get rid of it.
So this is they banned all 3 classes except for priest. So that's what it's gone
Okay.
down to.
So
They
the
banned
opposite. They said, you know what, we're just gonna bring it down to 1 game.
Yeah.
Forget it.
We want to do a best of 1. We want it to be a priest mirror.
The longest possible game. It could take as long as the series if we just banned priest, but
Yep.
it's gonna be 1 game to rule them all here.
Yeah.
So thanks to Donde and your mumked for agreeing to that interesting scenario.
So they both banned priest, obviously. So
Okay.
Right. All was right in the world. So we
Oh.
have a druid, rogue, and warrior for both of these players to see who gets to head further into the playoffs. The rogue. So obviously this evening we've seen a lot of druid, a lot of hunter, and quite a bit of warrior. This time no one's bringing hunter. It looks like hunter not making the cut for either of these players, and instead choosing that rogue. Rogue definitely feels like a class that there are some people who just, no matter what the metagame is, if rogue works for you, it seems like the rogue player's just like, oh yeah, rogue is favored in any matchup. Insert matchup here. Oh yeah, no, it's rogue favored. for the rogue folks out there, I would assume that a certain amount. It's tough to tell if this is a comfort bring or an actual power level bring. I'm not.
Yeah, I think good rogue players just have this mentality that, especially with Miracle Rogue, like it's either favored or even. There's no
Right.
bad matchups. Like, even the bad matchups, you can just scam and do some crazy, wacky stuff. So, yeah, I think some of the more seasoned players, we see a little bit more rogue. You see in the 1, 2, 3 seed a little bit more often, especially late in the game like this. Just because comfort level, this is a deck that essentially hasn't changed at all for most of this expansion, and just it is consistent, and people have the rhythm down and know how to play it and win into most matchups. So yeah, I'm not too surprised by the rogue. It's kind of that 4th deck with druid, priest, and warrior being those sort of general 3 brings.
So we got the players started. So we got Dante on the bottom of your screen, and who's first to spectate, and your mom kid at the top of your screen.
All right, let battle commence.
Yeah. Duel. So
Duel.
starting off, it looks like your mum kid opening with a warrior, Donde opening with a druid. This looks like a rush warrior to me, with a ringmaster Watley and troublemaker offered off the mulligan.
All right, primordial druid it is, and like you said, rush warrior on the other side. Yeah.
Wow.
We saw this earlier.
I definitely expected there to be at least one spell druid, token druid bring, but that doesn't appear to be the move.
Yeah, I mean, your mum kid could still have brought it. There's still one more druid in this series remaining, but yeah, primordial has I think is more reasonable in the sort of hero format versus a conquest format, because what you're queuing it into a lot of the time. You kind of bring it as an answer to some of those control decks that can't deal with that board after board after board that the druid can do late game. And maybe it's just you're playing into a more control-y decks. The primordial maybe is a little bit more consistent. You can always scam with spell druid, but there are chances that you don't hit the stuff and you're kind of struggling. Whereas the primordial druid, I think, has a little bit more consistency with those big drops. It has the primordial, it has the clowns, it has the guardian animals, it has all of those sort of options, Cenarian Ward as well, to just put pressure. Strongman, yeah, I mean, there's just tons and tons of threats that you can kind of just get pretty consistently. You just have to get to the later manas. So, aggro decks it can struggle against.
Yeah, and speaking of later manas, the perpetual pain of do you coin overgrowth? Because overgrowth on 4 with a coin, lets you then coin out a guardian animals if you hold the coin. But if you coin out your overgrowth, then if you don't have any additional ramp, no lightning blooms or anything available, But it's that's one of those things where it's just I'm never exactly sure when it's appropriate to coin out the overgrowth versus keep the coin. Because we would be overgrowthing right now into a guardian animal's next turn, as opposed to where we're currently stuck, where it's going to have to be either guessing the weight or just play Lake Thresher or Lunar Eclipse, guess the weight, something like that.
Yeah, really kind of awkward. I mean, you could just play a runner here, but again, like you said, yeah, turn 7's kind of awkward now. So yeah, maybe guess the weight to try to find something to do. Again, Twilight Runner can also find you those things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh yeah, I
so
missed the Twilight Runner in hand. So that, but that means if we might be actually just going to go ahead and commit the stage dive, which means we're going to be conditioning this turn, double conditioning this turn, perhaps.
Yes,
Yep.
it will be exactly that. Just trying to apply the pressure early. I think this makes a lot of sense in this matchup. Like I said, if it gets to the late game, you just really can't keep up. There's another Primordial. So we have a plethora of options next turn, but have to wait one turn to do that. What are we doing this turn? I mean, if you attack with this Twilight Runner, you have to play something else. You could just play Leg Thresher Hero Power. That's totally fine.
Yeah, could play a full retail strongman. Not super exciting, but does allow you to just put a big taunt in the way. I mean, I assume we are drawing and clearing this Sword Eater.
Yeah. Maybe considering, you want to get the value of the Primordial, so you don't want to draw both.
True.
But I think it
Oh,
totally
sorry.
fine.
Hits the innervate, and now we can go and do whatever we want.
Yeah, I kind of like now playing the Primordial here. The Guardian Animals, I think, is a little bit better when they have minions to rush into.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind getting that survival out or into the hand here, especially with that Carnival Clown already found. So yeah, it is going to be the case, and finding that Scrapyard Colossus, a nice roll there, but holding on to the Strongman.
Yeah, interesting choosing not to play the strongman. I guess there's the benefit of holding it back is it won't get hit by any kind of it doesn't become vulnerable to taking damage. But then again, if warrior is sending its creatures into your huge, your huge taunt minions and stuff, then again, you've seen 2 conditionings come down, so the rush minions are gigantic. This is a 5/8 crab rider.
Yes, yeah. Maybe it's a nod to saying, I'd rather you hit this Colossus because then I get the other half anyway. I don't need to put a strongman that maybe you can trade into a little bit better. And I have the strongman available for bigger turns later. I mean, we can just Primordial again next turn into the strongman.
Yeah, a real awkward situation for your mom kid right now. I mean, because Parade Leader Crab Rider does deal with the entire Colossus, but yeesh, I think is but ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be the case here though. You get rid of both halves and are able to clear up this Twilight Runner. Not a bad result, all things considered. But yeah, a good amount invested there, and we're just gonna see that Primordial come down once again.
Yeah, they having a hard time dealing with it the first time, so hit them with it again, play it again, and
yeah, I wonder if there's a consideration for the GA just to clear this. But it's pretty awkward if you pull the other runner. I guess you just keep it stealth.
and actually, if Donde plays the Primordial, then Donde will still be at 10 cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so gonna just play it this way and use the Lunar Eclipse instead to keep the 2 beasts healthy. And push that 6 damages with plenty of pressure as is.
Interesting. Got a Gnarlex off the top there. Moonfang, of course. This is a gigantic Moonfang.
I think this is a ignore the Moonfang scenario.
Yep, I think you are correct.
And just try to keep pushing damage. I'd like to see this Primordial come down. Next turn we're probably just going to survival, so get some extra stats on the board. Rush where he doesn't really run brawls and things like that normally, so not too worried about that. and then can play the strongman as well to protect the face. And oh yeah, there's Yashiraj.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we've mentioned every single one of these that have come out. I guess there's not too many 10 drops. Earlier I said N'Zoth, but that's a 9 drop. But yeah, the other old gods, the Dark Moon Rabbit, the
Yeah, we're really moving through them.
yeah. We've seen a good variety. I mean, we've only
Yeah.
seen the Deathwing twice, I think, and everything else has been new. So actually gonna go with the broom here.
Interesting. But I think we're still going to attack with the Twilight Runner.
Yeah,
which
I guess
means...
that was the broom was coming out just to free the hand up for that draw.
Yeah, so I guess that means the strongman's going to go ahead and come down for 0 mana, and this is a lot. This is a lot to deal with and crucially, one of the few board sweeps available we were talking about in the last series is of course a gigantic Blade Master Samuro, but it wasn't part of the double conditioning, and so that's going to be a win for the Clowns Druid. It's really making some moves tonight.
Yeah, big start there for Donde. I also fixed my math earlier. I said just a win for Donde, but Donde to win for wherever I may roam, because the other 2 matches were 3-2s, would need to be a 3-1 or better. Because if your mom kid's able to just secure 2 wins, doesn't even just secure the series, that is out of range. It'll be 14 to 13, even if Donde wins the match. So your mom kid only needs to get 2 of these in. Donde, though, with a good start there, getting that first win. Going to be able to keep playing. I mean, this has been just a Primordial Druid game. I feel like Primordial Druid has gotten a bunch of our 2 wins or even sweeps here in the past 3 games, the past 3 series.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So it is going to be Token Druid from your mom kid. So there it is. The odd man out. This is the first and only Token Druid coming in, and this is a matchup that can be real tricky for the Clowns Druid unless they're able to get around that corner, because all of the damage, there's no Twisting Nethers available to Druid, right? There's no and there's no burn either. Swipe no longer being available, so damage has to come from the board, and once there's just the first round of Clowns, that's gonna be difficult, he said charitably.
Yeah. So it's definitely gonna come down to how fast your mom kid's able to get this board going. Currently no board building tools yet, but a lot of buffing tools available that we could certainly come into play if we find any one of those board building tools. Has to guess the weight to try to find one here.
Yeah, I mean, this Guess the Weight. Gosh, I mean, there are so many potentially good things that can come off this Guess the Weight. I mean, even a Fungal Fortunes would be pretty good. 2, of course, the trickiest one to try to navigate around, because there's a lot of cheap cards, and a lot of cards that cost 2. So this can be a difficult. For these, I've actually heard people say, like, just pick the one that is the thing you want to draw.
Yes.
Not even necessarily what's most likely. Just pick the.
Oh, and we found Soul the Forest, so able to draw it there. Yeah, I feel like in the past few times I played this Druid deck and gotten the Guess the Weight, I have hit the same cost card every time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the one where it doesn't matter what you picked. You're screwed either way.
Wow, Lunar Eclipse. Your mom kid is 1 Gibberling, 1 the Glowfly Swarm. Just like you said, a handful of payoff cards, but nothing to. I guess there's Thorngrowth Sentries that can at least generate something, but that's not the kind of power that this hand says should be available. Your mom kid is, even we're getting to the point where even maybe like a Solar Eclipse and an Arbor up, something like that. And actually just going to go ahead and spend these Powers of the Wild to get a couple of 3/2s on board, just to do something.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be the Thorn Growth and the Power. I was going to say, I don't see that both Power of the Wild is coming down. I could see one. The debate was whether you buff the 1/2s or play a 3/2. I like playing the 3/2 better. Technically, it's 1 more stat.
Yeah, and more targets for that.
Yes, exactly.
as well. So yeah, it definitely makes sense. I don't. I just assumed it was like, oh my gosh, you have to play the 2 of a kind. That's Thorngrowth Sentries costs 2. And so Donde now going to guess the weight. This is a little bit easier.
Mhm.
If
Yeah, you hit a survival. It's probably lower.
yep. But Donde, did commit a lunar eclipse, but isn't going to be able to clear off these Thorngrowth Sentries. Going into turn 4, we see, there's a Pride's Fury, Power of the Wild possibility. Glowfly Swarm though, looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's about time. A little awkward that you have to kind of innovate into it and only get 5, but your board's already got 2 things anyway, so you're only going to get 5 anyway.
Yeah, and then you were mentioning all of the payoff things: Power of the Wild, Pride's Fury, and Soul of the Forest, all available to pay off these tokens. Guardian Animals is going to come down to contest, so that cleave effect is going to be really useful. And if Donde can hit 2 Lake Threshers, because I don't
Yeah,
see
we're
any in
still
his
turn
hand.
away though. We're still
Oh,
turn
we're-
away with the innervate. Only
That's
giving
right.
you, yeah, this isn't classic, so only giving you the 1
Yeah, and
extra mana here.
that's right. I just assumed that Clown Druid always had 10 mana. That's not available yet.
Yeah, we only hit a wild growth so far. There's the overgrowth, but a little too late for the curve that we wanted. So Donde gonna have to kind of wait out a turn, and looking at 12 damage, we see the Pride's Fury and the Power of the Wild would add another 14 damage to the board. So a potential, 26 damage. That's not quite lethal, so it looks like we're gonna just overgrowth and stay. You don't have any more buffs, right? You got maybe 1 or 2. I'm not dead this turn. I can maybe come back with the Guardian Animals now.
Solar
Could
Eclipse.
Lightning Bloom, yeah,
Yeah.
and play the Pride's Fury and just make the board nigh unkillable. And that is going to be the case.
Yeah, so this is what, 20, like you said,
26,
26. That's a lot. Guardian Animals is no longer, the cleaving Lake Threshers is not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's not going to do 8 damage to these, unfortunately. And so does find the broom though, and ramped up enough that could primordial into something that could be broomed, and maybe you can clear off a couple things. I don't think it's going to be enough though. Cenarian
Yeah.
Horde.
I guess it could hit a Scrapyard Colossus
I think
potentially.
this is maybe where you want to hit the rabbit.
The rabbit.
That's not enough though. You need like 2 rabbits to even have a chance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Seems like this has to be Scrapyard Colossus, and like you said, commit the broom in order to. Whoa, that's not going to do it. That's.
Yep. And not going to be quite enough, and that is going to be your mom kid taking 1 game here, and that's a crucial game. 1 more win for your mom kid will seal it. No pros here would take the series, so big match here. Now the Druid is dealt with.
Yeah, warrior or rogue. This is a big choice for Donde. Like you were saying, this next game is. I mean, Donde. I guess your mom kid from this point forward is always on playoffs point. Right? And so Donde's got to pick not only the best deck into Token Druid, but just best deck overall, most comfortable, highest power level deck, and it is going to be the warrior.
Yeah, it needs to beat this Druid and the Rogue without dropping 1. So I like bringing the Warrior versus taking the 50-50 Rogue matchup. I think the Rogue and the Warrior both have some good answers into this Druid, into Spell Druid. If this is Control Warrior, which with the Depth Head Cultist and the Bladestorm Brawl, I would say it very likely is. I think it's even more favored into the Druid. So, I mean, I'm liking Donde's odds here, at least in this matchup, and then the Rogue, it's just going to come down to if Rogue can do wacky shit or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to hits a Fungal Fortunes with a coin Glowfly available, so your mom kid is going to be able to get off to a pretty quick start.
Yeah, the Bladestorm in hand, though, does mean that there's an answer for that first Glowfly.
Yeah, and the timing of the Glowfly, because you have to wait until 9 mana to do a Glowfly in conjunction with Soul of the Forest, but gosh,
Force of Nature an option if we want to bait out a Bladestorm. You could play that before a Glowfly here.
Yeah.
Or just having a something to play after a Bladestorm. It's still 3/2/2s. It's not quite as wide as a Glowfly, but we'll see what your mom kid decides if it is going to be the playing around Bladestorm or not. But more than likely, we're going to see Fungal Fortunes, and then we'll see what happens from there. Could go for a Gibberling
Ooh.
turn here. Would
Yeah.
need to use a couple of those spells, though.
Oh, and finds that Soul of the Forest. That's just so tricky for warriors to remove, right? Because Brawl, they get a bunch of treants. Bladestorm, they get a bunch of treants. It's just Soul of the Forest is just a problematic. Landing a Soul of the Forest has been a problem. I guess actually it's been a problem for Control Warriors since what 2014 or something like that.
Oh my.
Classic problem.
Yeah. I mean, could go for a Gibberling turn here. You have the Lightning Bloom and the coin, so you can like Gibberling into Nature Studies into the Soul with the other spells and just make a very wide board with Soul of the Forest. And we were just talking about how powerful that is into the Warrior. That does mean that your Glowfly turn is put off a little bit, but you have the Fungal you can follow up with next turn to reload your hand and then Glowfly on the following turn. So yeah, I like the Gibberling here a lot, actually, the more I talk about it.
Yeah,
So
me
yeah,
too.
you play all this ramp. You play the Nature Studies. You can even play the Adorable Infestation.
Another Soul of the
into-
Forest.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Takes the
Pride's
Fury.
Fury. Yeah, sure. I mean, you only need the one soul here realistically to get the value you want. And yeah, that's going to be a full board here. And a lot of souls.
Yeah, this is a problem for Dante. And of course, I mean, obviously a Bladestorm windmills away 6 of these bodies, but like you said, they all come back as 2/2s, and then what?
Yes. Has the Brawl next turn, so would just have to, survive that next turn of Onslaught. But yeah, that's one Bladestorm, and then the Brawl for just essentially, the Gibberling board. That's one of your big board tools. You have 2 Gibberlings, 2 Glowflies, which are your big sort of board building tools, and to get essentially 2 or 3 pieces of the removal out of it would be enormous for your Mumked.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. So actually going to pick up the Stone Mall Anchorman. So I guess this might be the Nazoth version as well. There might be a Crash Lord of Turtling. We actually already see Overlord Sourfang in hand as well. So could be another Heat Shock special, as Anfall called it. So it is going to be the Bladestorm this turn. Like you said, this is just, if you're your mum kid, seeing this is not a bad deal at all. Perfectly happy to see that. Badly overloaded this turn. Does have the ability to potentially play out a Power of the Wild or something. Could Lightning
Could
Bloom
just
out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
I guess. It does mean that you can't play the Glowfly again, though, but it's pushing the most damage this turn. And it does play around that second Bladestorm, does not play around the Brawl that we do see in the hand, though.
Yeah, this to me says next turn is a Fungal Fortune's turn
Yes.
for your mum kid. So yeah, that's sort of the decide. And there's that Brawl, the fastest Brawl. Dante's going to go ahead and try to remove as much of this damage as possible. Already down to 17. And that's the whole turn. Dante spent all 5 mana reducing that damage, and Arbor Up coming into hand. I mean, I assume we're still Fungal Fortunesing, but
Yes.
as soon as we're able to land a Glowfly board, or even a Force of Nature board, like you were saying earlier, loses the second Gibberling, but does grab a Soul of the Forest, so. Next turn, 6 mana Unleashed for your mum kid, so actually getting pretty close to being able to play a card in conjunction with Soul of the Forest. But, Dante is going to be able to take control of this with the Anchorman without having to commit any more premium removal stuff and try to gather more resources.
Yeah, with the Glowfly available, I mean, we have that second Brawl for Donde. So yeah, it's going to actually be Force of Nature just to apply some pressure and maybe force out some of this removal. And if not, you get a decent board to hit with the Arbor Up. We did pull an Outrider's Axe here that would allow for Outrider's Axe, Hero Power, Shield Slam, clear off all of the 2/2s, just leave that 1/1 up. and draw a card. That's a pretty good option here for Donde.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Interesting, just how dead Mutanus is. I mean, Donde now know. I mean, we saw the Gibberling get discarded, so there are no
No
targets.
minions. Yeah,
Yeah.
0 targets. It's just a 7-mana 4/4.
So, and it looks like Donde is going to go through that line that you were talking about. Still down to 12, but there's no charge damage.
Yes.
So you're always going to see it coming. There's always going to be a telegram that the damage is coming. And like you mentioned, Donde still has that ripcord of a second brawl. But Soul of the Forest is going to make everything difficult.
Yeah,
if
I think
Donde
that's
allows it.
that's exactly what Ked is waiting for here. Your mum Ked is waiting for the turn that you can Glowfly into the Soul. And right now, yeah, that's 9 mana, so we're only 1 turn away with the Innervate.
Ooh. So this turn, maybe a
Thorn
Thorn
Growth
Growth
Arbor
Arbor up? Yeah. Just
keep going face.
yeah. I mean, Donde down to a pretty lean 14 at this point, and has to continue using that Outrider's Axe to not only maintain the card economy, but also try to keep the board under control without spending this brawl. Once the second brawl comes out, that's, I guess there's still a Blade Storm, but your mom kid is just can just generate this another board that's not the Glowfly Soul of the Forest board.
Yeah, and I think it will be. Oh, we're actually going to Hero Power here to just trade. Yeah, I suppose that's fine as well. This is threatening by itself. You have the Arbor up and the Power of the Wild, which you have 3 on board. That would add another 6, 3, so they're 9. That's not quite enough for lethal, so I'm a little surprised we didn't see the Arbor up there, but maybe just setting up for a big, you can Arbor up whatever remains from the Glowfly Soul turn. This is gonna, I believe, just have the 1 Stone Maul, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna whirlwind away the 1/1.
Yeah. Oh, there's that Blade Storm, that is huge!
That is a big pickup for Donde, and gonna be able to continue drawing as well. Kind of awkward, just Sour Fang costing 7 means that Donde doesn't get to work in an armor up, but
wow, that is actually so big, though. I mean, you could do the turn here, but now that we have the Blade Storm, you can Blade Storm into the Brawl and remove all of this. Or almost all of this here. So I think Ked, very smartly waiting for a turn to be able to do the Soul, but does end up giving Donde enough time to find an answer.
Oh my gosh, and a Barov picked up. So even if there's a big, Solar Eclipse Arbor up board reload at some point in the future, when there's no Souls of the Forest left, Lord Barov is a fantastic equalizing force as well. And just like you said, it's going to be Blade Storm into Brawl in order to really seize control of this board. And no matter what survives, Donde's going to be able to use the Outrider's Axe to clear it away if it is one of the trees, so doesn't need to worry about, can just go ahead and commit that damage. And now, Ked is sitting at 16 life, so the margin's getting pretty thin here.
Yeah, I wonder if we had to use the Arbor up earlier, if that would be any difference, if they're, it just was so easy for Donde to deal with the board of 1/2s and a 1/1, whereas it would have been much harder to deal with those 4/3s and the buffed up Thorn Guard Turtles and the buffed up 1/1, right?
Yeah, because we actually saw that 1/1 get swept up in the Sour Fang Battle Cry. So here is the Arbor up, going to come down on a Panther and a couple of Thorn Guard Turtles. So this is still 19 damage. This is quite a bit.
Yeah, and no great way to deal with it. So, I mean, you have the Barov. You can actually Barov Coerce, right? And just clear. You can coerce your own minion, right? So you just Barov Coerce, and that clears the board, and that's going to be it for Donde.
Yeah.
I think that should probably seal it. There's not really easy direct damage.
This could armor up Shield Slam the Barov as well.
Yeah, you can save the Coerce.
Well played.
Yeah, your mom kid's aware that's probably the game. Yeah, Donde able to stay in this, was just 1 game away from the series being over.
Oh,
yeah,
the latest Solar Eclipse.
Yeah.
And this is a hand once again, and this is a thing that can happen with this druid list. Is sometimes you have either a handful of payoff or a handful of generation, and you don't have the other one. And although we've actually seen a lot of generation, right? We've actually seen giant gibbering board, glowfly board, arbor up board, 2 thorn growth sentries, and like I said, Donde just persevering and holding it together. And now we're gonna see a lot of stuff come down in the way. Defensive Alexstrasza also an option, or offensive wins the game. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, not quite.
Not quite, but sets it up for the following turn. And that is not going to do it. So Ked losing with the Druid. Control Warrior takes that win, and 2-1 there for Donde. So only needs to beat the Rogue here. But both players just 1 win away from winning the series for their team.
Yeah, this is a really intense game 4. this is an all the marbles game 4. And we did actually see that Scrap Golem come in, so that was a N'Zoth Control Warrior, guaranteed. There's a Kresh in there as well, and I guess the Outriders axes are they seem to be something of an indicator. Well, the Scrap Golem for sure. The Scrap Golem guaranteed, but the Sour Fang is what I meant to say. Sour Fang is kind of a indicator. Here comes the Rogue. What flavor is it? You were mentioning at the top of the cast that there's Secrets version and Miracle version, and this looks like Miracles to me. Throws back everything, looking for the early Octobots and the potentially even the field contact.
Strangely, I can't see Ked's cards, even though I'm specking. So
it's a Cult Neophyte, Secret Passage, Swindle, and Foxy Fraud in the open. So Foxy Fraud, Swindle. Yeah.
Let me just stop and restart spectating. I don't know. Maybe someone DC'd there. That was weird. Okay, but yeah. So good start. Why don't you tell us what's going on while I get back in here?
Certainly. So it's a Foxy Fraud into Swindle opening for Ked, which and is able to find a field contact as well. So really just 1 Octobot away from being able to really start doing some shenanigans. Finds a Guardian Og Merchant as well to potentially activate either the Swindle or the field contact. Picks up a Kazakus as well. So just really in the build-up phase, Ked is able to just tempo out a Cult Neophyte this turn. And actually going to go ahead and commit the Guardian Og Merchant to just really develop maximum threat.
Yeah, I am back in, so I was able to just see that, and yeah, big play there. I'm a little surprised we committed that, but yeah, just keep applying the pressure. You have Secret Passage, you have Kazakus, you have the Swindle, so there's still plenty of ways to get the field contact active here soon. We can just keep curving out until that turn, though. You have the Kazakus into a 5-cost Golem, probably. And just keep applying the pressure here for Ked.
Yeah, and the 5 mana golems are just so
Stealth?
good, especially for stealth is good.
Stealth is pretty good. Summon a
copy is really good.
Yeah, makes it a lot trickier. I mean, we do see the Lord Barov Shield Slam available, but needs 6 mana to make that whole combo happen if there's no armor, which is going to be hard to maintain armor with this board.
Oh, actually took Stealth Draw 2, maybe as a nod to just the sheer amount of removal that's going to be available for Donde. And, playing this Golem on turn 5 is going to maximize the opportunity for this field contact to just go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose by the time you play that, if they keep their coin, they would have had damage available. But yeah, so there's going to be a coin brawl coming out here for Donde.
That's an early brawl. Can't be any earlier. Like you said, committed the coins. That's the first possible brawl.
Pretty nice result, keeping the Divine Shielded minion alive, and I believe the only stronger minion technically was the Kazakus, but that's just because of the health. So yeah, I think probably the best result there with that Divine Shield surviving.
Yeah, and the Octobot coming into hand. This hand goes from cheap to just about free with a single efficient Octobot activation with the Plunderer in hand.
Yeah, like I said, Brain Freeze also could be used.
And you were mentioning that Divine Shield, that makes his Kargath way worse. All of a sudden, the Kargath can't just rush in to even deal with the 3 attack.
I mean, the Stone Maul can still get its draw, which I think maybe is the play here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most defensive option would either be the scrap golem, but that's
Yeah, but with the 5/5 on there, it's not too exciting. It just value trades here.
yeah, definitely not what you're hoping for. Shadow step as well. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, this is
Yeah, you could just attack Shadow Step the Greater Golem if you want to
oh,
just
that's
draw
right.
more cards and then play the Brain Freeze or the Plunder on the Octobot. Then it might not be worth it. Maybe you just want your Shadow Step for your Alex or something later. But 2 more free cards plus you get the value trade and re-stealth your Golem. It's back to a 5/5. I mean, the more I talk about it, the more I'm convincing myself it's a good play. But your mom kid might be also doing the same. It looked like
It's
they were hovering the yeah, so it looked like they were hovering the prize plunder earlier, but changed their mind into that shadow step play here.
so the prize plunderer is only going to deal 3 damage, right? Oh,
Yeah,
actually, okay, gonna use the brain freeze instead. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I like holding on the
Yeah.
prize plunder better. The brain freeze isn't that good into the control warrior. It doesn't really do that much. So I'd rather have the potential for more damage off of a prize plunder later than the brain freeze.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Jandis actually catches that discount as well. So they 5 mana Jandis now available to Ked.
Oh, the
And
unnerved Candace back
yeah.
at it.
And this field contact can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards just with the hand that we see right here.
Yeah, and that's not counting all the drawing that we're doing.
Right.
Swindle, if it's played, that's 3 draw with the field contact.
Yeah, Wand Thief generates cards. I mean, this field contact has a lot of contacts, and Donde's going to have to buckle down to survive the onslaught of. I mean, Ked could put the entirety of the remainder. He's only got 15 cards left in deck, so it's gonna be playing with the entire deck here in a second.
I gotta move.
Shield Slam to deal the perfect amount of damage to remove that Foxy Fraud. And it's go time.
It is a go time indeed. It looks like just gonna go for the plunder first there, I guess, to get both cards out. Get the most draw value. Gonna go into the swindle. We're at full hand. We need to play something else that doesn't draw something.
That might be tough.
I guess we can mill something. Not the end of the world. Oh no, we're at 9. But why did I think we were at 10? Okay, my bad. So we're good. We just can't play the Wand Thief, or we will be at 10. We can play the Man Crick.
Oh yeah, I like the Man Crick a lot. And everything, just having these 1 health minions is so much insurance against Bladestorm. Obviously, the Barov's still available that we can see. Bulwark of Azeroth, the timing on that. Ordinarily, if you're thinking about it strategically, you try to use the Bulwark to lock out the possibility of getting Alexstrasza to death. But
Yes.
that might not be available to Donde this game. Donde might just need it to stay alive.
Yeah, you ideally want the board to be clear too, so it can't just be chipped away.
Right.
Looks like Tenwu coming down actually, just to get more value off the Octobot. I mean, I totally see that. We have Alex in hand. We have double Wicked Stabs. You get you get discount on all of those. You can play them at 1 turn. You can do a total, turn 10 of the 6, 12, plus the 8. So that's a ton of damage, right? You get 20 damage just from hand at turn 10 if you're able to get all these discounted.
And the turn for Donde, I mean, like you say, that's an extremely high prioritization of the Octobot right there. And the Octobot goes off if Donde wants to do not this, right? Like this clears off the entire board and pretty much required.
Yes. Yeah, and that does stop that plan, which could have been a game sealer there.
Oh gosh,
Dead.
I mean, I was assuming that this is Barov time, but it looks like it might be field contact. Keep drawing.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Looking for damage. Not gonna find it.
Flurry's not bad to just stop this bear up from trading or do anything wacky. It can just keep.
And it costs 0, and it doesn't replace itself, so you can actually play it.
Exactly. I think that's the crucial bit when you're playing. Probably Cult Neophyte into Man Crick here. If I had to guess, I guess Man Crick first. You want to potentially draw into the 3/7.
Oh yeah. give yourself a better chance of getting Angry Man Crick. Oh,
Oh,
right there.
Immediately.
Nailed it.
A
Shuffled it to
better
the top.
chance, was it was 100% of a chance.
Yep.
And now, I mean, we have 8 damage in hand with the Wicked Stabs. We're 2 turns away from those being enough. Could Shadow Step the Cult Neophyte? Probably not worth it. At 8 mana, they can still brawl and do all that kind of stuff. So no need to do that. Ooh.
Yeah, I'd say that sound just about sums it up. There's a lot of this is also a little just sociologically awkward because both man cricks are out here, and it's kind of it's weird for them to be next to each other.
It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Right.
It's like, you're me, I'm you. What's going on?
What's going on? Can Donde live? So right now, Ked is just showing 13 damage, and then of course it's going to be the 9 mana turn, which means Alexstrasza or Wicked Stab. Alexstrasza deals 8, and then the turn after that, both Wicked Stabs upgrade to 6 and 6. So I think Donde's just gonna have to play this Bulwark to try to stay alive, and then
Yeah.
maybe the Anchorman as well to clear off the field contact.
Yeah, I don't know if Anchorman first would have been the play, because you can drive Rancor, which would have been pretty good. Did not find the Rancor though, and that is just going to be it. That's just lethal on. Oh no, we have the 5. How many can we do? If we do the hero power, no, we don't have quite enough yet.
No, but there's the possibility for some spoilers here. If there's a way to activate this Wand Thief and find a mask or something like that. Although there are
mask.
creatures in the way.
Yeah, you can do the trading though a little bit. It is going to be the Mutanus, it looks like.
Yeah, it could grab that Crash Lord of Turtling. That would be the funniest. Otherwise, I'm trying to think if there's anything that could be inside the secret passage that wins the game. But we have a bunch of our damage in our hand already. There's only 2 cards left in deck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what are the last cards in the deck that we haven't seen.
Is it the other Octobot and the other Guardian Og Merchant?
Yeah,
maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I was gonna say, is it the other Wand Thief, but I see that's in the hand. Yeah.
So just gonna chip away at this Bulwark of Azzinoth. Okay, and it's gonna go ahead and play Mutanus. There's a lot of potentially good hits here. The possibility of eating an Alexstrasza, for example, something like that. Just also just.
Oh, there's that Crash.
Hey, this is a well-fed Mutanus. This is a minefield is not good enough.
Yeah, no brawl off the top, which would have been a big pickup there. Still, I don't think would have been enough. We just would have had to brawl hero power because the Wicked Stab's just going to be able to seal it next turn.
Yeah, Outrider's Axe does leave you enough mana to play a brawl if you draw it, but like you're saying, brawl is just insufficient. And there's the possibility that Mutanus wins the brawl.
Yeah, it might just have to go for it though with the Outrider's Axe. I don't see another option here.
Maybe.
Death's Head Cultist just doesn't provide enough. There's 18 just on board.
What does this play mean? Are we gonna Minefield
I gotta move.
Kargath? Just hope it worked out pretty
okay.
well.
Nailed
Able
it.
to clear off enough here and play this Death's Head Cultist to be alive on board here, but is that enough? I'm trying to do some math. We've got
I think double Wicked Stab just does it, right?
Yeah, double Wicked Stab just does it. Yeah, we weren't able to armor up, so yeah, that will do it. And your mum kid, that's it. Takes the series, or 2-2 right now, but takes the win for No Pros here. With that win, Donde can only try his best to seal this. I don't know. Are the players going to play Game 5? It doesn't mean anything anymore. I guess ask the players what they want to do.
Yeah. Then it would be, gosh, a Game 5 Rogue Mirror. Gosh, that Warrior just... I mean, I guess it's more the... we were talking at the beginning of the match that it looks like they're playing. It looks like they're at least queuing into the game. Actually, I guess I'm technically on board with Ked right now, so this could be a ladder game. No, this is okay. This is still Ked versus Donde.
All right, so we're gonna play it out. Game 5, no reason not to. Yeah,
For the
and
fans.
yeah, I think the big problem there for Donde was not finding the rankers, which would have I think really helped early. There were a lot of 2 health minions for quite a while. It would have given the armor and cleared off a board, but was not able to find those.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I wonder, does Rancor isn't cut from that list to make space for all that Nazat stuff, or is it? 'Cause
No,
I feel like I didn't see.
Donde specifically just reached out to me.
Oh,
To
okay.
say there are rankers in that
There are
list,
rankers.
FYI. Yeah,
Okay, good to know. Because I feel like I didn't
wouldn't have
see
known
any.
it. Yeah, wouldn't have known it just watching the game. But yes, there were rankers. So still going for this game 5. Win here would mean that technically wherever I may roam, one for Donde would mean that they won 3 of the 5 series. But with how close all of the games were, no pros here does take it.
Yeah, Craig, we've gotten 3 out of 3 game 5s, which as
Yes,
a
we
fan of the
have.
game, that's exactly what I hope for.
Yes, absolutely. Even though the stakes are kind of gone for this last game.
Yeah, except
we
for
had-
pride and pride. I was going to
Yes,
say
pride
glory,
and
but
pride.
unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, we got 14 out of 15 games mattering and going all the way through those. That's pretty crazy.
And this is just a volatile matchup where it looks like it's 2 miracle strategies going up against each other. We see that Vanessa Van Cleef inclusion for Ked. Oh, so maybe that's what the 30th card was. Maybe 1 Octobot and 1 Van Cleef.
Yes,
were the last 2 cards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So cutting one of the Octobots, or not? Sorry,
Yeah.
cutting one of the Og merchants to make room
one
for
of the
it.
Og merchants. I think we saw. What did we see in the deck that's not in like every list? I feel like there was something else that probably was you cut for it. I'd have to look back.
And it looks like I'm interested to see when this, because Vanessa Van Cleef is just a great card to make sure your to give more action for your Foxy frauds. And so now we could see Foxy fraud Van Cleef to steal a cult neophyte and then play that neophyte as well. Am I right about that, or is it brain freeze? Did I get
Wait, say again?
I'm trying to figure out what this Van Cleef is going to steal if it gets played.
Oh,
Is
it's
it-
whatever the last thing was, which I think was
Right.
brain freeze.
Is it a brain freeze? Okay, so it's not as good. I was
No.
thinking it would be cool to steal a neophyte, but if the last card was a brain freeze, then
Yeah, the neophyte I think was played the turn before, right?
yeah. Has an arcane intellect available from the Wand Thief, so can go ahead and power up the draw if Donde would like to.
Yeah,
That would
not a
be
bad
pretty
option.
good. Yeah, that'd be a pretty good thing to steal with Van Cleef. But it looks like it is just going to be a neophyte and re-dagger this turn.
Yeah, could do it now. Could play like. It's kind of awkward though because you got to like Foxy. I guess you can Foxy into the Van Cleef into the neophyte into Prize Plunder and clear off the other neophyte.
Oh yeah, I hadn't considered adding in the Prize Plunderer, because being able to
then you
being
can
able
pull
to
it
be
clear.
ahead on board. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, we're
Rogue.
muzzling the magic. Boom.
Rogue notorious for its inability to heal effectively. So just being able to be ahead on board for a couple of turns and chip away at that life total. And you talked about the incredible amounts of damage. If Ked is able to discount, this Alex Straza and this Tenwu in particular, really Ked just needs to find some draw, right? Ked needs a field contact and a swindle to just really get cooking.
Mhm. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna just be clearing off some stuff here for Donde. Can Prize Plunder the 3/2 as well. No, would not clear the 2/3. Uh-oh.
Gonna use the dagger swing, I guess.
Already
Oh no, use
used
the dagger
it.
swing already.
Yeah,
Yep.
I saw Donde hovering that. I was like, no, we won't do it.
Yeah,
There's only 2. There's only 2. Oh well.
Hey, okay, swindle. So we got Foxy Fraud swindle as an option. Oh, Tenwu on.
To get
Okay,
the
wants
prize.
that prize plunderer.
Sure. Sure. Just keep fighting for the board. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can
And
still do the Foxy swindle as well. Don't need to do it after. You've got plenty of damage. Yeah, you got the 2 already. Gonna hold on to the Foxy Swindle? Just redagger? Sure.
Interesting. I guess we're gonna give it one more turn to potentially draw that field contact. And I guess Ked is currently ahead on board, so
Okay. Mancrick Arcane Intellect seems like the only play.
yeah. Would you ever Mancrick Shadow Step Mancrick again? That seems strictly worse. I was trying
Yes.
to I can't think of a reason why that would be.
Oh,
Oh my
there-
gosh.
wow, that is a big pull there for Donde to keep him in this one. It was starting to slowly drift away, but that 3-7 gonna contest this board very, very well.
The key is to play your Mancrick closer to the deck.
Oh
that actually
my
shuffles
God!
it to the what is happening.
Olgra!
Everyone's
Yeah, it
really
is
upset
a
about
massacre
Olga.
here. Yeah, this Olgra is just. Come on, leave her alone. She's had
She's
enough.
already dead.
She's already dead. Oh, Twilight 2 rushes. Oh no, I'm sorry. Twilight Runner doesn't have rush. It's just usually you see it come out with rush. I got excited.
I do that all. Yeah. Twilight Runner just always comes off Guardian
Yeah.
Animals. I've definitely thought that it has rush.
What do you mean it doesn't have rush?
Wait, it doesn't have rush? I've made that mistake playing a game
Wow.
before.
Well, yeah, I don't know that we have the answer here. Can Wicked stab a minion? What does Vanessa give us? The last thing played, I believe, was
Would it be Barov?
I think it was just Jandis. Yeah, so
Yeah.
no way to combo that with the Vanessa this turn. Obviously, you like to get a Jan. I guess you can Shadow Step this Mancrick to try to. No, even then, you're still 1 mana short.
Oh,
To
yeah,
play the
Barov.
Jandis with the Vanessa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That adjustment to 6. It's just this is not going to fit in there.
Yeah, maybe you still try to steal it though if you're gonna Wicked Stab here. Oh, we're just gonna Shadow Step that to save the Wicked Stab.
Interesting.
I think we probably are gonna Wicked Stab to clear here. You can't play the Jandis anyway. Yeah, so I don't like using the Shadow Step there. I don't think it would have mattered. We're at 6 health and there was no way to clear off the full board even doing this. So yeah, good game there. Nice effort there from Donde. Your mom Ked securing it for no purse here. Wow, did Wherever May I Roam make this as close as possible? This
As close as possible.
This was so tight. Going into this, I thought maybe we were only going to even see 1 or 2 series. Like only, 1 win for no pros going into tonight would have sealed it. But there it is, your mom Ked just saying it did, even though I got that win, we sealed it with the 3-2 or the 3-1 there against Donde. Oh no, yeah, it was 3. Was it 3-1?
That was 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, it was 3-2. What am I talking about? We got to game 5. What am I? Of course it was.
Well, because Donde got off to the. Oh, that's right. Donde won with the Druid and the Warrior, but then, yeah, once again, it's like went up 2 games to 1, and then got 2-0'd here at the very end. That Miracle Rogue, and we were talking at the start of the match that Miracle Rogue. You're talking about how it's a comfort pick for some players, and it's just able to do. I mean, that game against the Warrior, I feel like Ked had the entire deck drawn before 10 mana, right?
Yeah.
Because didn't Donde die with 9 mana left?
Yeah, it was very that was the whole deck was drawn there before really any chance there, and before a Rancor was drawn, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. And I believe we have your mom Ked in here.
Yes.
Congratulations, and way to just lock it up for no pros here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of
I was
pressure going
hoping
into
I
that one.
I was hoping I wouldn't even have to play tonight, but we'll take the advancing on.
Turned out to be just the opposite. Crucial that you played.
Yeah, you got a little relief there early. You didn't have to win the series. You still did in the end, but only needed those 2 wins to secure for your team. Thanks for playing that last game out. That was still nice to see the finale, even though the stakes kind of weren't as big once that second game went your way. But very well done. Really clean play, I think, from both of you. Donde had that 1 or 2 errors, I think, with the or at least big, errors that you could see with the prize pull or misstep being one of those. But yeah, very, very well done. Is this kind of what you expected to see? It seemed like there was a lot more primordial druid on both sides here than maybe I expected. But you brought the spell druid. Were you kind of happy with that? Were you upset with that? I know it kind of struggled a little bit at one point, but you were able to find the win in the end.
Yeah, I did kind of expect what his lineup was, except for I thought he would just go with a regular Rush Warrior. So that's really why I was really worried after I lost the first game that I would have two unfavorables in the Rush Warrior. But I'm kind of glad he brought the Control Warrior because I felt better with my Rogue against it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But yeah, that
interesting.
was I expected the Primordial Druid. That's why I had the other Druid to. That was kind of like a counter cue for that.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. And so you got to battle against that particular flavor of Control Warrior with the Scrap Golem and the Kresh Lord of Turtling N'Zoth uh, set of cards in their package instead of the maybe a Silas setup or a Cthulhu setup or something like that. How did it? How does it feel fighting against? Is that the kind of Control Warrior you expected? And how was battling against that for you?
To be honest, I haven't played against Control Warrior in a while, so I wasn't sure what kind of build he was doing. When he played that first the rush draw rush card, I thought that maybe he'd just have like a one or two rush minions with Samaru, so I was kind of worried that he would have that in that. That's why I think I played like I guess not innervated, but bloomed out the Pride's Fury because I was kind of worried about a Samaru off the stage dive. But yeah, I guess he had the Anchormans in there, which I wasn't entirely expecting. But yeah, I figured it was something pretty similar to that. I figured you'd probably have like the new Kresh and the Zoth in there too.
Yeah, it definitely uh, the it definitely folded to your rogue though. Like, and actually, that was another thing I wanted to ask you about in terms of brings the Miracle Rogue. Obviously, we got to see it just draw the end. And actually, what we were talking about as you were coming in, right? You had drawn 28 of your cards by turn 9, going
Oh
into
yeah.
9. I mean, uh, is that a comfort pick for you, or what's your relation? I am terrible at Rogue, so I just what's your relationship with Rogue and Miracle Rogue?
I've played a decent amount of it. I mean, Rogue is my probably my favorite class. I mean, I've had like almost doubled the wins with that class compared to any other class. But yeah, I've played a fair amount of that deck. I kind of screwed up though in that Warrior game. I wanted to not play the Octobot when I stepped it back with the Tenwu. I probably should have just saved Tenwu and dug for the other Octobot, but I was kind of getting impatient and I didn't want him to like heal back up with Rancor or something. So I wanted to maybe see if I could just end the game with a quick Octobot. But then I was thinking, I'm like, what can he do to prevent, I guess, besides like a brawl from Octobot? And I was like, there's not too much. If he has second brawl, then I'm okay with it not activating. But I kind of just forgot about Barov being another option for him in clearing. Not getting the proc on the Octobot. I
Yeah,
don't know if you remember that turn, but I like last second played Tenwu on the Octobot and
Mhm.
then played it.
Yeah,
Because I was
Yeah, I
at 10
it,
cards. I
it
probably
stepped you to
should have
10
just
cards.
held
Yeah, yeah,
the Octobot and just not worried about the overburn. That was just a slight misstep there. But luckily never had Rancor and then I could just kill him.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he also had in that warrior, I believe, in the hand the Kargath, which could have also not stopped the activation, but there was plenty of other stuff on the board that a Kargath probably wouldn't have been enough. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it was a good heads up play. Did get punished a little bit, but still, where you were able to stabilize and find the win.
I did always keep a good amount of board pressure, so he couldn't just really take a turn and play like Kargath Prime or
Right.
other stuff that would be kind of slow. Like if you wanted to combo like Rancor with something else, that could have worked probably, but like you couldn't just play Rancor to kill like half my minions and then have the other half still hit him in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats once again. Huge win there for your team. Only one more week of Hero Series left, making it your way to the finals. Any thoughts going into that? I believe you're playing Blast, right?
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah. We played them actually a while ago. I'm pretty sure we played them on the first couple weeks. Looks like they got Skittles on the squad now, so that's a little friendly fire there. But yeah, they look like a good team. I mean, their 1-2-3 is pretty stacked up PR wise, like kind of like our team is almost.
Mhm.
So should be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck with that. I don't know if we have any more questions here for your mom, Cat. I think we answered all of mine at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've put in a full round of work here. You definitely, uh, and also definitely appreciate you playing out that fifth game as well. Because I'm a fan of the game, and seeing people play Rogue well is one of those things that all I can do is live through it vicariously. So
Yeah,
I'd say
the
yeah, you
rogue
run.
mirror, I always like that mirror. It's usually a lot of times you're like, oh, thinking about maybe getting the combo out with the Octobots and Tenwu Alex, but I just play it for tempo mostly, and then usually Rogue can't deal with a wider board, and then that's kind of what happened in that game. I just
Yeah,
kind of
those first couple of turns was a lot of battling for initiative on the board. Just prize plunderers everywhere, and uh, I think you stepped your Vanessa Van Cleef to get another prize plunderer, and just trying to get ahead on the board, and you were able to secure the board first. It looked like.
yeah, and the Janice top deck was clutch, and then getting the rush minion was just the icing on the cake there.
Yeah, well, congratulations to you and to No Pros here, and best of luck going into the big show.
Yeah, it's exciting for no pros here. It's our first ever playoff win in Hero, so
Wow, that's big.
It is.
yeah.
A big moment. Congratulations.
Congrats, your mom, kid.
All right, thanks guys for casting this.
No
Yeah, of
problem.
course. Thanks for hopping on here.
Take care.
Yep, see ya.
And
Whew.
there you have it. I am exhausted.
What a night. I mean,
What a
it
night.
could have easily turned out, just one match and that was it. But we
Yeah.
got 3 full matches all the way to game 5 in each one. You couldn't ask for a better night. And the fun doesn't stop here. We've got a little bit of an announcement as well. So before you guys sign off here, make sure to check out the survey for Family Feud 2. That is happening Monday the 19th. So really need some responses there. Lotus Knight, looking forward to that. So
Yep.
please do that for that show. And thanks everybody for watching. Any last thoughts here from you two?
It looks like it's still. I'm interested to see what happens on Thursday, because until then, it seems like ban Priest is the move. It seems like if anyone's going to get to play Priest, it seems like there's going to have to be a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah.
In order, otherwise, no one's going to get to play Priest ever again.
That's right. So Quaz, when we play next week, dude, 1v1 priest only Nas deck. So
1v1
Yes.
Nas Priest.
Yeah, let's do it on the show. You can take a break, Saku. I don't know how we're gonna figure out opping if you're playing, but whatever.
well, if it was anything like my stream today versus Buse, yeah, don't watch that one. So
Nah, there's no way. You go on
It
stream
was fun.
twice. On average, it'll turn out both
that's
ways
right.
for you, right?
It's 50-50. So
50-50.
can't ask for any more even than that. 50-50. So
Absolutely.
But-
all right. Well, I think that's it from us here. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Check us out next week. I'm sure we'll have some more, maybe some playoff finals fun there for Hero.
yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and thanks Dollar Bills and Mayanda for creeping on in here, and we will see you next week. Next week. Tomorrow. Anyway, sorry, I digress.